43 years the river has flowed. Same bank, same stone, same winding road. But the youth are calling with voices loud, breaking through the grey morning cloud. The land is tired, the people are strong, waiting, praying it won't be long. One man stepped from the halls of power to stand with us in this urgent hour. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
In every village, every crowded street, hearts are pounding with history's beat. The hands that built this nation cry for schools that teach, for truth not lies, for bread on tables, for work and pride, for leaders who will walk beside, not above us, not beyond our reach, but one who practices what they preach. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
Who has served so long, your chapter's written, your story strong. Find your ease now in honor and grace, pass the torch to a younger face. Let Cameroon remember you, not for holding on but letting through the dawn that's breaking, the hope reborn. This is not defeat, it's a gentler moon. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma,
we believe it'll come home.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream.
Chiroma, shining and where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
43 years the river has flowed. Same bank, same stone, same winding road. But the youth are calling with voices loud, breaking through the grey morning cloud. The land is tired, the people are strong, waiting, praying it won't be long. One man stepped from the halls of power to stand with us in this urgent hour. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
In every village, every crowded street, hearts are pounding with history's beat. The hands that built this nation cry for schools that teach, for truth not lies, for bread on tables, for work and pride, for leaders who will walk beside, not above us, not beyond our reach, but one who practices what they preach. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
To the elder who has served so long, Your chapter's written, your story strong. Find your ease now in honor and grace. Pass the torch to a younger face. Let Cameroon remember you, not for holding on, but letting through. The dawn that's breaking, the hope reborn. This is not defeat, it's a gentler moon. Chiroma, oh, Chiroma, you carry our dream. A beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh, Chiroma,
we believe, we'll come home.
Chiroma, oh,
Chiroma, you carry our dream.
Chiroma,
a beacon shining in earth where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh, Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
43 years the river has flowed. Same bank, same stone, same winding road. But the youth are calling with voices loud, breaking through the grey morning cloud. The land is tired, the people are strong, waiting, praying it won't be long. One man stepped from the halls of power to stand with us in this urgent hour. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream. A beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
In every village, every crowded street, hearts are pounding with history's beat. The hands that built this nation cry for schools that teach, for truth not lies, for bread on tables, for work and pride, for leaders who will walk beside, not above us, not beyond our reach, but one who practices what they preach. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream. A beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
Who has served so long, your chapter's written, your story strong. Find your ease now in honor and grace. Pass the torch to a younger face. Let Cameroon remember you, not for holding on, but letting through. The dawn that's breaking, the hope reborn. This is not defeat, it's a gentler moon. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream. A beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma,
we believe, we'll come home.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream. Chiroma,
a beacon shining in earth where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
years the river has flowed. Same bank, same stone, same winding road. But the youth are calling with voices loud, breaking through the grey morning cloud. The land is tired, the people are strong, waiting, praying it won't be long. One man stepped from the halls of power to stand with us in this urgent hour. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
In every village, every crowded street, hearts are pounding with history's beat. The hands that built this nation cry for schools that teach, for truth not lies, for bread on tables, for work and pride, for leaders who will walk beside, not above us, not beyond our reach, but one who practices what they preach. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, joining you from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas, precisely. I want to believe you all had a wonderful weekend. I am having a very excited show today, and I want to believe you will do me the favor and, as usual, hit your share button on Facebook and YouTube. In the case of YouTube, you hit the link and share the link of the broadcast tonight. Issa Chiroma officially in the Gambia, according to the Gambian government, as announced last Friday and confirmed by Issa Chiroma's campaign. And also, we're going to be talking about what is happening in Ambazonia, Ambazonian restoration fighters coming together, getting united, and setting things straight to work as a team. We will also see what these fighters are doing to purge rogue fighters, kidnappers from among them. I will be joined by a panel tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I will bring you my talking point on what is going on between Issa Chiroma and the government of the Gambia. This is going to be very, very exciting. So please, stay tuned. I will be right back in a few seconds. Stay put, please.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
Are you ready to unlock the power of AI? Mastering AI Tools, a practical guide to ChatGPT and OpenAI, is your ultimate gateway course to harnessing AI in your career or studies. Provided by Pascal Presentations LLC, a trusted name in cutting-edge education, this course empowers you with the skills needed to navigate and utilize AI effectively. Whether you're a professional looking to boost productivity, a student wanting to stay ahead, or an everyday person trying to upgrade your knowledge on this transformative technology, this course gives you hands-on experience and practical tools to make AI work for you. Don't wait for the future. Start mastering it today. Enroll now with Pascal Presentations LLC and take the first step towards transforming your potential with AI.
Thank you once more for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of things have been happening in the northern zone of Amazonia. We learned of the kidnapping of students at the University of Bamenda in Bambili. We also learned of the kidnapping of a reverend father up in Ngo Ketunjia in Dab. And then we've also learned of kidnappings at a hospital in Big Babanki, civilians abducted by gunmen, we are told. And then we have also learned of battles going on in the Bui, that is Kumbo. The capital of Bui is Kumbo by Bui Unity Warriors in Ndonga and Mantung. Counties, we hear of Amazonia restoration fighters coming together to form a unity, to constitute a team, not to fight in factions. That is amazing what is going on. I thought to give the first segment of this show to these developments coming up from Bamenda, to be precise. Now, in the social media reports especially, I have read reports from Mimi Mefo reports you can never trust. Now listen to the sound of my voice. Do not read anything on Mimi Mefo and take it for gospel truth. They deal with gossip. They deal with fake news. Gossip and fake news. Because I have had to confront her on a number of occasions on some of the stories that they publish on their platform, and come to find out they carry out no investigations. In fact, they pick some of the stories on different platforms on the social media and report as news. If you claim to be a news platform, a credible news platform, you do not publish anything that you cannot verify. And if you must publish it, you must then say it is allegation. Do not pin it on any group, on any individual, without the ability to confirm that this is, without the ability to confirm exactly that the person you are accusing is the one who carried out the act. And Mimi Mefo is fond of reporting stories like this. They rush. I think she's got some people writing for her on the ground, and she cannot vet those stories to make sure that they are legit, they are legitimate, they are true. And so do not take anything from that platform, anything news story, seriously. They don't vet their stories. They just want to write for the clicks. And so if you have read what they have on their platform, they say Amazonia restoration fighters abduct the Reverend Father, abduct students in the I think either CAS or the University of Bamenda in the Bambili, and up to today, the students have not been found. Yes, as of this moment, yes, it is true, people were abducted in Bambili. A reverend father was abducted and as of now, we don't know where they are. We don't know who is holding them and for what reason. We also know a young lady with dozens of stitch marks on her body was abducted from the hospital bed in the Big Babanki, I believe. And up to now, nobody knows where she is. You see the pictures of this lady, you will cry, you will weep for her to be abducted under that condition from a hospital bed, taken to an unknown destination where nobody attends to her medically. It is pathetic. Now, I also read a lengthy report, which I want to consider it an overzealous report from the Archbishop of Bamenda, Andrew Nkia, reporting about the abduction of the Reverend Father somewhere in Ndop, and attributing it to separatist gunmen. Again, these are reports. They cannot prove that the Reverend Father and others were abducted by Ambazonian, because when they say separatist gunmen, they're essentially saying that Ambazonia Restoration Forces abducted these people. I'd like everybody out there to know that abduction of anybody, especially the civilian population of Ambazonia, has never been, should never been, will never be the goal or the mission of Ambazonia Restoration Fighters. And should any Ambazonia Restoration Fighters, ladies and gentlemen, be caught kidnapping people, that person should receive the maximum punishment. That person should receive the maximum punishment, and that person should not be considered an Ambazonian fighter. Ambazonian fighters are not fighting the civilians. They are not fighting civilian population. They are fighting against an occupying army from La République du Cameroon. That is their mission. And we can't say this enough. We can't say this enough. The war, the 9 years old war in Ambazonia is not against civilians. It's not against your own people. It is against the occupier. It is against our colonizers. It is against those who consider us second-class citizens. That is who the war in Ambazonia is against. And also take note, Ambazonia did not declare the war. La République du Cameroon, the colonizer, declared the war. But I realize that so many people out there, whether deliberately or ignorantly or naive or out of naivety, always want to attribute these abductions and kidnappings to the Ambazonia Restoration Fighters. Again, don't get me wrong, not at all. Do not get me wrong. There are some rogue Ambazonian Restoration Fighters who have abducted people, taken ransom from them, and will completely condemn it, and we will not want to see them calling themselves Ambazonian fighters. Those ones, we don't consider them, we don't count them for Ambazonian fighters, because that is not the mission of Ambazonian fighters. The mission of Ambazonian fighters is to face the enemy, represented by the uniform gun-toting French Cameroon army in the territory. That is who their target is. So it is very important we know that French Cameroon, we have known this for a long time. French Cameroon under Atanganji, the Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanganji, we know that they pay the DDRO guys put guns in their hands to go about the towns and cities in Ambazonia, abducting people, and so that, dressing like Ambazonian fighters, abducting people, taking them away, taking ransoms from them, so that the people should say, oh, see what Amba, as they call it, is doing. It is not always the case. And you guys know how many times I have had to come on this television set over the years to condemn any form of torture, kidnapping, and ransom taking in Ambazonia. That is not our fight. Our people are not our enemies. Not even French Cameroon citizens are our enemies. It is the army represented by those wearing the uniforms and carrying guns from La République du Cameroon. Those are the people we are defending ourselves against. So the idea that anybody will kidnap anybody, we have condemned it here year after year. But we have to realize La République du Cameroon has been doing everything it can to get Ambazonian civilians to, walk away from the war, to surrender, to agitate, in fact, in some cases, they went to, I think it was in Oku some time ago, I think 2 years ago, paid civilians to go to the streets and demonstrate against Amba. They gave money. Let me show you something what we are talking about here. Look at Paul Atanganji here, ladies and gentlemen. So that if you are an observer out there, understand what we are talking about. We are not just making things up. The video I am about to show you is a video of a state minister, the Minister of Territorial Administration, standing there on the roadside and asking his people distribute 3,000 francs. That is about I think let's just say $3. That's about $3, US $3. He is standing there. He pulls money out of his pocket, give it to his associates. He is standing there observing his associates are giving money to bike riders. And don't be surprised. These bike riders may be military men disguised. Because we have seen situations where the military in Cameroon disguised as Okada riders, bike riders, go and hide their pistols within their jackets, go out and cause mayhem, shoot people randomly. Again, hired and supervised by the Minister of Territorial Administration. Think about it. How can a minister of territorial administration of a country stand by the gas station, by the roadside, and is dishing out $3 to bike riders? Where have you seen that, ladies and gentlemen? Where have you seen that? But it happens in Cameroon, and I'm about to show you what you are going to be seeing here took place. I think there was either in Bafoussam or Mbunda over the week. Look at that. Now you can see that's Paul Atanganji on your right hand side. See, look at his men giving money, paying money for gas or petrol to the Okada rider. Look at Atanganji. Look at him right there on your right. Okay? Let's hear what they are saying there. Look at the money. See the money. Now the next one comes. And the minister is standing right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's Paul Atanganji there. You come, an Okada comes, they fill your tank, they pay for it, and they give you money. I think that money that probably is about 5,000 note, I believe. Look at Atanganji, the Minister of Territorial Administration. I think behind him is a governor of that of Western Region, either the governor or the senior divisional officer. Let's hear what they are saying. They are saying in that audio.
Lève la main. Et puis, lève la main.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the images you're watching on your screen, that was Paul Atanganji. Paul Atanganji, Cameroon Minister of Territorial Administration, standing there at a gas station in the western province, or they call it western region of La République du Cameroon. He puts out money into the hands of his boys, and look at the way they address. Look at the guy in orange, the guy who was carrying the money. Of course, that's not a government official. It's a talk. It's a talk. And then the Okada guys come, they put their gas or their petrol, they feed the tank, and then it doesn't just leave a 5,000 grid note, or whether is it a 10,000. That is about $10 if it is 10,000. No, it's not. If it's about $15 or so is handed to, as you can see, right there, ladies and gentlemen. But the point I am trying to make here, again, this happened just at the weekend. But the point I am trying to make here is, in which country do you find a government minister, a state minister, discern to this level to stand in a gas station to share $10 or so for bike riders to put gas in their tank? Where have you seen that? This is the word. That's the minister. The guy in the middle of the two uniform guys. That is Paul Atanganji, the territorial minister, the home affairs minister, equivalent to the home secretary in England, standing by the roadside. You can tell the desperation of that regime in La République du Cameroon. But I am saying this to say that when we tell you that this guy, Paul Atanganji, recruits local fighters, put guns in their hands to attack, to kill civilians, believe what we are saying to you. It is not made up. It is no fabrication. That guy does that. And when people are abducted in schools, people are abducted in churches in Amazonia, hold this guy responsible. Hold him, Paul Atanganji, hold him responsible. We have seen them remove prisoners, put guns in their hands. I mean, the prisoners are the DDR. You all know that. They take them out, put guns in their hands to go out and fight, kill civilians in the name of Ambazonians. We have seen this a lot in Libya, where the colonial divisional officer receives instructions from this territorial administration, who has a supervisory authority over the divisional officers. They put guns into their hands in the BLM and they go out, harass the local population, take millions, steal millions out of them after kidnapping them. We have seen this a lot. In fact, only I think a month ago, one person was made to cough out over 30 million CFA francs, ladies and gentlemen, in the BLM to boys sponsored by Paul Atanganji. So let's be careful when every time, because I see the Archbishop in Bamenda, Archbishop in K, wanting the public to believe that the Reverend Father abduction in Ndop was done by separatist fighters. Listen, if I find out that the abduction of the Reverend Father was carried out by separatist fighters, Ambazonia fighters, I will be the first one to rebuke them and to ask them to release that man immediately if I find out that that was exactly the case. The same thing with those students. There is no reason why students should be abducted. We have ruled against that. Students should not be abducted. Civilians should not be abducted because they already feel the pain of this 9-year-old conflict. And but we know, again, Cameroon does this. We can control what Ambazonia fighters do. We cannot control what Paul Atanganji boys, government boys, they do. All right. But I am being joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Shay Tata. I don't want to disclose the location he is joining me from. He is going to give us a little more update of what is happening. What is happening in the Bui County, in Donga Mantung, and then these abductions in Ndop, the Reverend Father's abduction in Ndop. I think that was November 15, I'm told. And then restoration fighters in the, I think you will give me the update on that. In the Donga Mantung, I believe, they went up there, tried to do exactly what I have been trying to explain here. And we are told that some ADF fighters abducted, kidnapped civilians. And the good ones, the good fighters, in the restoration fighters, I believe the Unity Warriors, they went up to face the ADF fighters and to demand that the civilians they abducted be released. So we are going to hear this story from Shay Tata, who is joining me. Shay, it's a pleasure to have you, sir. Can you hear me? If you can bend your camera slightly, please.
This way?
All right.
Is it okay?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's great to have you back again. Again, we have heard a lot. We read the story from Mimi Mefo. We read it from Archbishop and Cabe in the statement you put out. They all pointing fingers at Ambazonia restoration fighters. But before I bring you back, let me play this clip that is coming from Ambazonia fighters quarreling, the ADF fighters who kidnap civilians. Am I right that ADF fighters kidnap civilians? Please put it right for me.
It wasn't actually a kidnap. It was a problem that I think goes back as 3 months ago. And what actually happened is that there is a village in a neighbor village in Jakiri known as Nkar. That's the village of General Yenwo Francis,
Yeah.
where military has been kept there for as long as God knows when. And these military, they have been causing all sorts of atrocities and barbarism. What have they not done to our people? So it happened that there was a football tournament taking place in that village, organized by the civilians. And the military were after someone whom they claim was a number fighter. So they came and took a boy out of the pitch, the football pitch, and executed. So when they executed this civilian, they thought they were killing a number fighter, but it was a civilian who came to participate in the tournament. So what happens is that the warriors in that area, they were very furious because each time a number fighter makes a mistake, civilians will either reprimand or they will march to that barrack for retaliation or anything. So when this incident happened, which was one amongst many others, civilians did not react. So the fighters were very furious, and what they did was that the ADF leader of that area, he decided to shut down activities in that village until the villagers reacted. So the
What
villagers did
reaction?
not act. Yeah,
What
like I
reaction
said,
were they expecting from the civilians?
they wanted the civilians to do the same, like when they make a mistake, civilians come over to them. They wanted to go and they wanted to come out and demand for justice from La Republique terrorists. So they didn't do that. And so they shut down they asked that all the activities be shut down. So some of the shops didn't function for quite some time. But one of the colonel, the warriors colonel that controls that area, so that it was rather weighing on the people than on the military that we wanted to discipline. So
Right.
he chose to ask the civilians to go around with their activities. But the ADF leader who shut down the place had his own deadline that he had given, and that deadline was not met yet. So there was this misunderstanding. So when the people opened their shops yesterday evening, the fighters of the ADF were told about it. So they came out. I don't know if the general was aware of their outing, but I'm told that they had a confrontation with the civilians who were challenging them. So there was a quarrel among them, and then some of them who had, I'm told they shot stones at the fighters, and something happened. There was a fight among them. So they came, they called for backup, and they came and took some of these civilians who had, how do I call it, who agitated. So
Yeah.
so they took them to their barrack in a village not far from there called Wakang. So the population this morning became furious. So they went to the palace. The military came to the palace this morning to take advantage of the situation and wanted to talk to the phone, but they were told that it was too early for them to see the phone and that the phone does not get out this early. So they left, and then I don't know if it's the military that instigated the population or the population did it on their own. So the population decided to march to the ADF barrack to demand, I'm saying demand for the release of these civilians. I'm saying so because the information people have out there is that they went to chase away amber, that they don't want amber in their land, which is not true. And we can see from the interactions and the meetings they held. So when the the population marched, the general was informed that that was what was happening. And because he wasn't afraid and he knew that what he did it for the good of the civilians, he decided to come out to see them, to meet them. He even brought some of the elders of his own village, and they met at the village square. So they had interactions. He listened to them, and they explained why they came. And then he told them that they also wanted this market to be open. He told them that he had scheduled the market to be open on Saturday, and that since the population was peaceful and had listened to them, he told them that he was so happy that they marched to him, but that this is what he had wanted, that if the military had abducted this child before killing, if they had done the same march to the military barrack to seek for his release, the market would not have been closed in the first place. And this was just the grudge he had against the civilians. That each time there is a mistake, there is an error on the part of the fighters, instead of coming for dialogue, they march only in retaliation. So he stood, he listened to them, he shared their views, explained the things to them, and then told them that even before they were coming, which is true, he had already, the people that they were picked, he had already interrogated half of them, and they were already on their way.
All
While
right,
the interrogations were continuing with the rest.
Should you hold on there for a second? Let's play this video coming from the general, please.
Yes.
They call the commander on palace, say me I come arrange all things ready, but they are the arrange. Next time I'll come a bad person. But no mind. All things we are doing for this one, I go this year. And once again I'll appreciate when I don't come for here. Periphery where they shoot them for there. I'm a periphery. And I know Greece we could continue for more football tournament. Now say me the move any person from inside when I shoot them. That person no get 2 blood. If they move my brother shoot them, we'll get 3 brothers. Today, I leave them. Tomorrow they move another one shoot them. That means I just don't quite say me they finish all my brother. No. That thing where military be do me fine. No. Okay, the thing where be vex me and I say, they don't carry picking from that place. Oh, when I know that picking. When I know say, you never ever who gone. Now picking where they run now, Okada. But it come out so good for military the hand. When I know even follow. The football executive no follow. For God talk to the picking there so you know the who know nothing. And again I know believe say if military see me so I no get gone. They go who me again they beat them. I know my own side they go take me go put down prison. Or they go take me go put down DDR. They take picking like that and go kill them again. Then now who be safe? So one incident did not happen with car. We don't go stand for car. Well, we okay, I mean them stand. We don't know say they stand so where the North military there for us, but they're not here with. Time where military don't wake up now the open fire before they okay, I mean them shift. They shoot one of my picking for there the collect stick. That time I be long car. The people from car. If they become for beg me say I open the place. I don't say problem no there. I could open the place. But me they contribute money so give me I buy the gun with them. I be last take the money from Muna. No. I be last take the money from Muna. No. Some people then become cry. Say money no day. I leave them. I be leave them. Then this one again come happen. If I just she don't quiet them and say me are the rule now, which kind of people? Me are the rule now, which kind of people? Right here now, that periphery where they shoot and body so. People on don't lose over. No be soldier. When I overcry some man for the talk say na some soldier. No be some soldier. He never ever hold gun for your hand. Even I say to true with the stand for ambulance. He never ever touch this thing. But they take you just because he favor person. Why they not call the person where be sure the man? Say true na this man. The one realize we don't kill him. We don't kill the city for nothing. Then when I the signal they come so. I could never hear anything from when I'm up, whether or wait it happen. When I want to say more do up. For things then all these things I don't explain them. Because so I get big problem with some of my colleagues because of car. Other one where they come disturb for palace so Now me I stop them.
All right. The rest of that video is in the dialect. So I guess that was the general explaining to the people, having dialogue with the people to explain exactly what was going on.
I think this is explicit enough. We don't. More was in the dialect, like as you said, and people were there to air their differences, and they had a very cozy conversation. So when we see people write certain things when the evidences are there for all of us to listen and hear, I begin to wonder how professional we want our fighters again to work. This to me is a climax of professionalism, going out to dialogue with your people, not being scared of them, but respecting them, listening to them. And the good thing is that he even told them that he was thinking that he was going to take 2 days listening to the other civilians that were arrested, but because of the way things have been handled, he is going to release all of them to take them with it so that they can go together with them. And he did that immediately, and also told them that instead of opening the car market on Saturday, he will automatically do that on Wednesday, which is just in 2 days. So basically, this is what happened. And I think when fighters like this do a good job trying to protect the civilian, there's a statement he even made. He said if this boy killed was a military, he will not come, he will not ask any question to them. I mean, was a fighter, sorry. He will not even ask them for a question. But a civilian being killed and nothing happens. But when a fighter makes a mistake, which we all make mistakes, that is when civilians will rise up against it. One thing we need to learn here, it's about the freedom we have, the right to demonstration, and that is what the fighters have always given to the civilians. They have a right to protest. Try this in La Republique, and you saw what happened when they just came out peacefully to protest. It would have been a different case if they were marching towards the military. So I hope that our people should not take the leniency and the goodness of our fighters, always there to listen them, as an abuse. This is all I can say for today. And I really congratulate General Capo for this professionalism.
Is General Capo not of the ADF?
Yes, that's the ADF. He is part, the ADF is a member of the Unity Warriors platform.
Okay,
and
so
like
that
I
was
said,
General Capo
like
trying
said,
to bring
ADF,
things to order.
Yes, that was General Capo trying to bring things together. You could hear him even questioning why civilians remain mute. He could enumerate a series of things that he has done for the civilians, and these are sin. You know, the problem we have here is that, like he rightly said, Nkar is infiltrated by traitors. There are a good number of traitors due to the fact that this general comes from that village. So you will know the kind of network he has there. But he has used his professionalism in handling the civilians. And the civilians in Nkar also, they need to sit up and understand that we are at war and stop betraying our people. He is still asking even for the people that pointed at that young civilian, that innocent civilian who was killed. And nobody is doing that because they want to hide their atrocities.
Now, you have just confirmed to me that the Reverend Father reported by Archbishop Nke in Bamenda was abducted by Ambazonian fighters. Is that what? Is that?
And that is the problem, where the fighters get angry, and sometimes when they have someone in their custody that they are interrogating, sometimes when we use these words, abduction, kidnapping, it pains them a lot because they've been asking the same thing. Why is it that when military takes our civilians away, whisk our civilians away, nobody talks about adoption? They also have a right, when they have a suspect, to question them and talk to them. And this is basically what happened. The problem we have in Ambazonia is the fact that our people keep coming to Ambazonia with the military. And that is why they have said any activity, anybody, even including a CPD, a man, can come to Ambazonia, visit his family, and go back freely as long as you do not provoke a situation. But people organize events and take the military there. And that is why the Ambazonian fighters are saying that any place where they see the military, they consider that as a military barrack. The reason why they had these two priests, let people understand this. What I got was that two priests were the ones that were picked up because they were suspected to be with the military. And some people say that the military came to prepare the way because the apostolic nuncio, after visiting Bamenda, was going to come to Ngogitundia. So people are beginning to wonder why someone will be coming to Ambazonia and will be seeking security, but from the military, the people that are killing the same population you are coming to talk to. So when these priests were taken for questioning, 4 other priests, we are told, went there. And they too, when they were talking to the warriors, they realized that they had almost a similar story. So these boys, these warriors started interrogating them. And when they found out that some of them actually were not aware of what happened, they were released on Thursday.
Was the Reverend
And then
Father
one
released?
priest was kept. Sorry?
Was the priest released?
The 5 priests were released on Thursday.
Or all of them have been released?
No, just one is still kept in custody.
And what is the reason for holding one?
Thank you. I just got a communique, which I will send to you from the APLC, stating that this priest would have been released, I think, yesterday. What has even kept him there is the provocation from the church.
Okay.
Because they do not let them do their job. In the war zone, they have a situation, and they are saying that it was just
the argument would be, how would they hold him on the pretext of the argument from the church when they have released 4 others in spite of the church?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they were interrogating them, and once they are done, because everyone is a suspect. When you are suspect of something, that's what we have. They interrogate you, and if you are found not guilty, you are let go. So when they had these priests and they were releasing them, they started having threats. And they said they were not going to work under duress, and no one was going to threaten them. So they wanted to say, let them do what it will happen. Then one of the reasons that now motivated them to delay the release of the priest was that they suddenly saw that everyone had interest in the pickup of those priests. And that is why they were saying, okay, it looks like if we delay the delay of this priest, maybe that international community will start talking, because nobody seems to talk about our case. When the military kills our civilian, nobody talks about it. Remember, Comrade Chris, on the 11th of May, if I am not forgetting, 2022, close to 40 bike riders from Oku were abducted. Until date today, they have never been seen or heard of. And nobody is talking about it.
How many?
And today, close to 40.
40 bike. When was that again?
11th of May, if my memory doesn't fail me. It was all over on the activists. People spoke about it, but nobody intervened.
So up to today, none of them has been found.
Nothing is heard about them.
Okay.
So now when they saw this window, where suddenly they thought, okay, the nuncio is around, probably he might take this out, let them understand what they are going through, the church started sending threats to them. And that is from the threats. I can tell you that I heard a lot of audios where the fighters suddenly changed from what they wanted to do into seeing what those threats will mean and what they can do with those threats. This is just the simple reason why the father is still in custody.
So the father will be released.
And they have said they are not going
released
to
and
release him because he has given them a deadline. If the Archbishop wants to close the church, let him go ahead. How many civilians have been killed that the church has not been closed? And that's why they think that there is a selective justice, or should I call it injustices? Because the church, according to them, even though that's why when we had the program we had last time, when Mr. Mote was talking about the church and Father Ladu, he gave a very handling this, they will do their job well and then release this priest, just because he understood the procedure. But the case here is not the same. You read the letter from the Bishop of Kumbu. It was talking about injustices. And then that of the Archbishop came and provoked everything with threats. And then, you don't threaten these people with guns.
yeah, of course, they are men of the gun. Hang in there. Let me play this footage here, and you tell us what is going on there. Take a look at that. Take a look at that.
Yes, around 3 this, and around 3, and around 3. Continue to do Continue the video. Turn back. Okay.
No, treat that. Chef, no good.
I'm here to ask the chef.
I'm okay. Oh, no, you are saying
Kapika, group za mahua.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us, what event is this and what is going on there, and when was that?
This video is actually, I think, about 200 meters away from our family house.
Oh, wow.
That's in the heart of Kumbu.
And these
Kumbu
are
town.
Bui Unity Warriors.
Yes,
Okay.
those are the Bui Unity Warriors. The Unity Warriors. That's Bui and Donga Mantum. It was
Okay.
a combined mission. Yeah, it was a combined mission. We had 2 barracks from Donga Mantum and 1 from Bui, and they came. Before the elections, we had a military base that was implanted in the heart of Kumbu, in the filling station known as Total or Texaco, around that area. And people thought that they were only coming for the elections, but the elections were over. And when military comes without outstation allowance, without being paid, what they tend to do to the civilians.
Yeah.
It even became so difficult because it's about 50 to 60 meters to the cathedral, the Kumbu Cathedral, where they are based. So they even disturb Christians from going to church to pray because of the atrocities they cause. So it was on this day, I think it was last week Tuesday precisely. It was last week Tuesday in the morning, where Kumbu was shot down with this battle. The warriors said that the military had overstayed their welcome and they came purposely to eject them from that area. I can't remember the number of casualties, but it was a fierce battle. As I said, Kumbu was shot down because of the gunshots. This even led to further gunshots where all the military barracks in Bui were shooting randomly for fear of what was going to happen. So this was a fierce battle on Tuesday. I remember precisely when it happened last week, about 6 days ago. Yeah.
All right. Shay, we still have a lot to talk about, but I will ask you to please stay put if you can. Let me delve into my talking point for tonight, which has to do with the announcement from the Gambia. The announcement from the Gambia government.
1 second, please.
Okay.
1 second. I was also going to, before we come back, to tell you that there is another village in Bui called Bamti Village. It's in None LGA, where the military invaded since 4 a.m. yesterday, and they are still there. Civilians have been killed. I am also told that maybe we have lost 2 of our fighters because of the fierce battle for these 2 days, but about 250 civilians have fled the village and seeking refuge in the neighboring village. It's terrible. It's a nightmare.
250 civilians.
Yes, civilians, as I'm telling you. It's a nightmare there since yesterday. The people are in pain, and we need people to come to the rescue of Bui to chase this. Our people are living in serious barbarism.
Now, you also told me of this lady that was abducted in the from the hospital. That was Big Babanki, am I correct?
In Bingo Hospital.
Bingo Hospital, yes. Tell us a little bit about that lady.
Yeah, that's in. This lady is a farmer. She's been in Bui for some time, but due to the war, I am told she left. The name is Rhoda Mfikela, about 34, 35 years old, let's say in her mid-30s. She has 3 children, I think 2 boys and a girl. Due to the crisis, she had moved to Yaoundé as an IDP, but life became so hard that she couldn't survive in Yaoundé. So she returned to one village, Tan in Jakiri, LGA, and became a farmer. So she was on her farm. I've forgotten the name of that small village. Is in between Tan and Bokam. When we are told certain Bororos and their agents, we don't know who those agents are, stormed their farms, and with everyone who was on that farm settlement, butchered them. I think you should have footages of those disheartening wounds. Butchered her so much that she was able, I don't know how, to get to Kumbu at the Shisong hospital, where she spent 4 days at the hospital for the stitches. But the situation was so critical that she was referred to Bingo Hospital in Bello. So she was evacuated to Bello Hospital, where the military came and whisked her off from the hospital bed. Up till now, nobody knows about her whereabouts. And we are pleading at this moment if anyone has heard anything. We are told she still has all the irons in her body and she needs serious medical treatment. I wish you could, if you, maybe I didn't send you the pictures of her in the hospital, where people could see the horrible situation and the pain in which she is, and then for the military to take such a patient out of a sick bed, I don't know how she will survive it. But we
all right, you hold on there. Shay, we have a footage here of this lady receiving treatment. Yes. I don't know where this treatment was taking place, but we would like the people to take a look and see what is going on there.
Ngale Lyonga, the chairman of the Adagon 1, the refugee settlement in Ogoja, Cross River State, Nigeria. Today is Saturday, the 22nd of November 2025. I'm here at the residence of our sister who is seriously sick, Sister Rita Kejin.
That is the lady lying there. Was that at home or at the hospital?
That is at home, because that happens in Ikom. That's not the same lady. This one is a refugee.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. Yeah, this is a refugee in Ikom Rita in one of the settlements in Adagom in Cross River State. And she too was in the farm where she was bitten by an insect. And little did she know that it was going to lead into this. And she's also one of those we've been advocating for people of goodwill to really help her, as the leg is rotten completely. I think even to show on the screen is really horrible and disheartening to see. If people can see what we can do to rescue the situation also, I would be very grateful. She's a refugee, is one of our refugees, and then we begin to ask questions. Where is the UNHCR? Where are those UN agents that say they are working for the refugees? She was at the hospital, she couldn't afford the bills, and she was asked to quit the hospital because there was no money to continue treatment. So that's why we need this war to come to an end as much as possible.
It is sad what we see here in the images. I hope that the audience there can bear with us as we bring these images to their attention. We are trying to cover the face of the lady as much as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the photo of the lady kidnapped from the hospital by the Cameroon military. Look at how many stitches she has on her body. The whole skin, the whole body is naked. We have covered her bottom just to show you this side of her. She was abducted from the hospital in this manner by Cameroon soldiers, and up to today her whereabouts remains unknown. That is what civilians in Cameroon civilians in Ambazonia are going through in the hands of the Cameroon army. Your last point on this subject, please.
I have been talking to one of the lawyers defending the Amazonian prisoners of war to also spread his tentacles and see if he can get any information that can lead us to identifying where this lady is. I'm also launching an appeal to people that while we think about how we support her in her medical care, we should also make sure that we ask questions and dig to know where she is. The family is so worried, and sometimes when you hear them say, even if she is dead already, it's better they are aware that she's gone, because with these kind of stitches and wounds, only God will help her survive. So the population, we need information from the population, anyone who has.
So right now, even if the population was to weigh in and with some contribution, they don't know where it goes because nobody can find her. Correct?
That's also true, because I wasn't tasked to do that. But I think probably the first thing will be to make sure that we locate her. And if we have to do contributions at the moment, then probably we will send numbers out from the family circle or even contact the hospital. But let's try to locate her first. That's, for me, this is the most important thing for the family, to know where she is at the moment.
And it's good you mentioned the hospital. Is the hospital carrying out an investigation as to the whereabouts?
So far, like I said, the only person, the family has just been scared to go close to the hospital because they don't know what's going to happen to them, and because they don't even know why she was adopted. Because someone who has been butchered by the Mbororos and then ends up in the military confinement, it shows there is a bigger network than we know on this, which we still have to decipher.
All right, Shay, please stay put out there if you can. We're going to take a brief break out, and when I come back, I will bring you my monologue and we will discuss the subject of Issa Chiroma announced as being hosted in the Gambia by the Gambian government. Please stay put, do not go away. I'll be back.
Are you ready to unlock the power of AI? Mastering AI Tools, a practical guide to ChatGPT and OpenAI, is your ultimate gateway course to harnessing AI in your career or studies. Provided by Pascal Presentations LLC, a trusted name in cutting-edge education, this course empowers you with the skills needed to navigate and utilize AI effectively. Whether you're a professional looking to boost productivity, a student wanting to stay ahead, or an everyday person trying to upgrade your knowledge on this transformative technology, this course gives you hands-on experience and practical tools to make AI work for you. Don't wait for the future. Start mastering it today. Enroll now with Pascal Presentations LLC and take the first step towards transforming your potential with AI.
All right, thanks for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I take you to my monologue of the day, which I titled, "Is I Chiro My Hands Tied?" Is I Chiro My Hands Tied? That is the subject of this monologue. And after that, I will bring you my panel for tonight, and we will have a discussion on the subject. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. There are moments in the life of a nation when the political theater shifts so abruptly, so dramatically, that the very foundation of public expectation trembles beneath it. The Gambia's statement on Friday announcing that it has been hosting Issa Chiroma, Cameroon's opposition leader, and the man widely or nearly all Cameroonians believe won the October 12th presidential election, marks one of those defining moments. It is a disclosure wrapped in ambiguity, deep in diplomacy, and served with more questions than answers. And yet, the implications are too consequential for Cameroonians to overlook or to understate. According to the Gambian government, Issa Chiroma has been in their custody since November 7th. Since November 7th. Yes, since November 7th. That is nearly 3 weeks of silence, 3 weeks of secrecy, 3 weeks of political vacuum in Cameroon, while the man believed to have defeated Paul Biya was being quietly hosted under humanitarian grounds. Remember, Biya was inaugurated on November 6th. The Gambia argues that this hosting is meant to ensure his safety while efforts continue towards a peaceful diplomatic resolution to Cameroon's post-election tensions. End of quote there. But the first and most obvious question that leaps from the shadows is, why now? Why did the Gambia wait this long to make such a monumental announcement? What has been cooking in the quiet corridors of Banjul? What diplomatic ferment has been swirling behind closed doors in Banjul? And what is it that they are not revealing? What are they not telling Cameroonians? To understand the gravity of this, the Gambian announcement, let us revisit the very history of the Gambia's own political transition, the circumstances under which Adama Barrow became president of the Gambia. Because embedded in that history is a blueprint, a precedent, a reality that has haunted Cameroonian imaginations since October the 12th. In 2016, Yahya Jammeh, who had ruled the Gambia for 22 years, lost the presidential election. Adama Barrow, current president, His opponent, that is Yaya's opponent, won. But just like the stubborn and desperate regime of Paul Biya in Yaoundé, Yaya Jammeh refused to accept defeat. He declared the elections fraudulent. He swore he would not step down. The Gambia, one of the smallest countries in Africa, suddenly became the epicenter of a constitutional crisis. Adama Barrow, current president, had to be sworn in, not in Banjul, not even on Gambian soil, but in Senegal. The ceremony took place inside a Gambian embassy. He was sworn in exile because his own capital was in the grip of a ruler who would rather burn the country than hand it over peacefully. And then came the turning point. ECOWAS forces, primarily from Senegal in Nigeria, entered the Gambia. They marched towards Banjul. Under mounting pressure, Yaya Jammeh fled into exile. Adama Barrow returned home, not as a hostage to circumstances, but as a president carried into power by both democratic legitimacy and regional resolve. It is precisely this memory that has fueled Cameroonian desires these past weeks. It is this model that Cameroonians have fervently prayed for, that Issa Chiroma should be sworn in from abroad, and that a regional force or some coalition of justice would pressure Paul Biya to vacate, to leave the presidency, to surrender power. So now, with Issa Chiroma in the Gambia, one cannot ignore the question burning in every Cameroonian heart. Is he there to borrow from their experience? Is the Gambian positioning itself to reenact the very scenario that freed them from Yaya Jammeh? The parallels are too striking to dismiss, yet the differences are even more revealing and perhaps more troubling. Let us peel back the layers of the Gambia's statement. It claims that Issa Chiroma is being temporarily hosted to ensure his safety. But hosted from whom? Hosted from what? Hosted why? If Cameroon is a sovereign state, and if the elections were as transparent as Yaoundé pretends, why would the presumed victor require humanitarian refuge? The statement continues, noting that the Gambia respects the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of AU member states, and that its territory, that is the Gambia, will not be used for any subversive activities against any government. It doesn't name anyone, but any government. This line is critical and it must be noted. It must not be glossed over. It means simply this, and it is that Chiroma's hands are tied. He cannot launch operations. He cannot announce a government in exile. He cannot mobilize political activism from Gambian soil. Chiroma cannot declare himself president. He cannot call for insurrection or an uprising. He cannot even engage in anything that can be interpreted as undermining the regime in La République du Cameroon, that is in Yaoundé. This is diplomatic containment. Diplomatic containment, not imprisonment, but constraint. The Gambia is hosting him, but it is also restricting him. This is why Cameroonians must understand the deeper ramifications here. If anything is going to change in Cameroon now, it will not be because Issa Chiroma acts. It will be because Cameroonians act. Let us further examine the other critical line in the Gambia statement. The Gambia is working with regional partners, including Nigeria, to support a peaceful negotiated outcome. Take note of that. Nigeria, that regional giant, whose interests always overshadow any crisis. Nigeria, whose position could tilt either towards stabilization or complicity. What exactly are they negotiating? What exactly? Two possibilities exist, number one, and both are enormous. Number one, they are negotiating Chiroma's capitulation, the surrender of his victory for the sake of stability, peace. The possible option is, number two, they are negotiating the removal of Paul Biya, as they once helped negotiate the removal of Yahya Jammeh. Those are the two chances of what is going on. Which one could it be? The statement does not tell us. It does not hint. It does not even give the illusion of clarity. The ambiguity is the danger. The ambiguity is the intrigue. The ambiguity is a puzzle we cannot yet solve. And then there is the silence of Barrister Alice Incom, Issa Chiroma's spokesperson. Her official statement simply confirms the Gambia's narrative, but adds nothing, no insight, no elaboration, no direction, no strategy. Her silence deepens the mystery. It signals that whatever is happening is bigger, more delicate, more sensitive than they are willing or permitted to disclose. But there is another interpretation, ladies and gentlemen, a more sobering one in that matter. Maybe, just maybe, they too are in the dark. Maybe Chiroma is not in control of the narrative. Maybe, just maybe, circumstances have overtaken the revolution's timetable. Nobody knows. This is where Cameroonians must wake up. If change is to come to your country, you must initiate it yourself. You must stop hoping that salvation lies in the exile of one man. You must stop believing that Chiroma alone will dethrone a 42-year-old system of corruption, brutality, and decay. There comes a time when a people must rise like the Amazonians did, not because a leader instructs them, but because justice demands it. Cameroonians must realize that their liberation is not an imported product. It is a domestically manufactured mandate. Issa Chiroma remains the leader of that movement, of that revolution. Yes, his moral authority is still intact. His legitimacy is uncontested. His victory is believed by millions. But he is not currently positioned to deliver the final blow. His false refuge, call it exile if you must, is symbolic, inspirational, even strategic. But it is also limiting. It shackles him diplomatically. It restricts his voice. It confines his action. Meanwhile, Cameroon is burning. The regime is frightened. The military is restless and divided. The population is anxious. The international community watches. And now, the Gambia has added a new layer of geopolitical complexity to an already volatile landscape. So what are Cameroonians left with? What are you left with? A moment of truth. A moment when you must decide whether you will sit idly and wait for a solution negotiated in foreign capitals, or whether you will seize this historic moment and chart your own path. What are you going to choose? Because here is the undeniable reality, ladies and gentlemen. If Biya is to be removed, dethroned, Cameroonians must remove him. If the stolen election is to be reclaimed, Cameroonians, you watching, listening to the sound of my voice, must reclaim it. If the revolution is to have life, Cameroonians must breathe life into it. Issa Chiroma's temporary silence should not discourage anyone out there. His presence in the Gambia should not be misinterpreted as defeat. On the contrary, it shows that the regime fears him, that regional actors recognize him, and that the international system acknowledges the crisis in La République du Cameroon. But it also shows that the burden of action now rests squarely on the shoulders of the Cameroonian people. Diplomacy may produce statements and communiques, but revolutions are produced by human courage. Revolutions are produced by human courage. This development is a signal, not of weakness, but of responsibility. A call for Cameroonian citizens to rise, to act, and to reclaim agency. The war will not free Cameroon. The region will not free Cameroon. Only Cameroonians will free Cameroon. The Gambia's message may be diplomatic, but the implications are revolutionary. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring in my panel for the day. I am being joined by Metro Lissinger, joining me from London. I'm so sorry getting you wait for so long. My apologies. Adjust your camera and sit in the middle. And I'm also being joined by Reverend Kennedy Ijacha, joining me all the way from the state of Maryland. I was also supposed to have been joined by Barrister Harmony Bobga. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. But Barrister Lissinger, let me start with you, joining from London. Sir, you observe, I'm sure you have read this statement coming from Zambia. You are a lawyer. What do you think? What do you read within the lines when you read a statement like this? What the Gambia is saying is, even before Paul Biya was inaugurated on November 6, 2025, Chiroma was already in the Gambia, because according to Biya was inaugurated November 6, and Chiroma was in the Gambia November 7, according to the statement. Tell me, what do you read when you look at that statement? You read that of Alice Income, and he merely confirms that yes, Issa is in the Gambia. I actually spoke with her yesterday, and she confirmed it before she put out the statement later. Are you reading anything from what the Gambia has put out?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for inviting me on your program. And to be honest, I want to tell you the truth, because sometimes I talk with a lot of our people and they just want hope. And sometimes I might talk on this your program. People might think, oh, I don't want change. No, it's not about change. I read the letter and I will tell you what it means legally. It's not necessarily what I like. But I will tell you, Minister Chiroma is a refugee. They have given him temporary humanitarian protection because he is in fear of his life. It tells you that La Republique is a dangerous country. That's what he's telling you. You cannot be safe in La Republique. That's a fact. If you look at the letter again, it tells you that we are not going to allow any person to use. You said it on your monologue, which I love it. We are not going to allow any person to use Gambia as a base for any subversive activity. What does subversive activity mean in law? The act of undermining or of overthrowing a legally constituted government. That's what it means. So they are telling you that I'm talking what it means legally. So sometimes to me, I'm making it clear. Mr. Israel Chiruma is a refugee in Gambia. He's not the only one. When you look at people like the former president of Uganda, Obote, he went to Tanzania, stay there, no politics, don't talk. If you look at the former president of Syria, it's in where? Russia, don't talk. That's a policy. A GME went to where? Saudi Arabia, don't talk. That is a normally, no country will allow an individual to come to their country and try to do something to overthrow a government because you declare yourself an enemy state. So to me, Mr. Chiruma, at least come, they should be honest to the people. I don't like false hope. That's me. Chiruma have done his part. And I'll tell you on your program, it's over for Chiruma. The only thing that can happen for Chiruma at the moment, if he would have agreed, they would have given him a position. It happened in Zimbabwe with Morgan Chedera when he won the election. It happened with Rala Odinga in Kenya. So the situation, what they do in Africa, if you win an election, they don't want you. When I mean they don't want you, it's not Africans, it's the West. Because the West, they control most African countries. That you talk about Adama Barrow won an election. He was sworn in. In a foreign country. Let me tell you something. The reason Yahya Jammeh was removed was because the West, they did not want him. Initially, when Adama Barrow won the election, this is what happened. Yahya Jammeh congratulated Adama Barrow. After 1 week, he withdrew, he changed his position. And again, we can say it's ECOWAS. The West, they walk through these people. Minister Chiroma knows Cameroon more than me and you. Minister Chiroma knows even if you win an election in the Cameroons, they won't accept. Me, John Frundi won an election in Cameroon. We shouldn't be making as if it's a new thing. It is not a new thing. 1992 is more than 30 years ago. John Frundi won an election. Paul Biya, 39%. Frundi, 35%. They refused. We keep on repeating, making the same mistake. And this colony in Africa, which is called La République du Cameroon, that have annexed British Southern Cameroon, it is being run by Macron. Maurice Kamto was arrested. John Fundi had house arrest when he won the election. These are systematic things that have been happening ever since I was a teenager. So Chiruma's situation is no different. We want change. But as a people, we should be honest and look at this situation, which is very difficult. Because it's not about beer, it's about France to me. How can we fight it? It is a very difficult situation. If I should ask Minister Chiruma honestly, Minister Chiruma, did you think if you win that election, do you think they will hand it to you? If Mr. Chiruma want to be honest, he will say no, they won't. I know we won't change, but we shouldn't be making our people to believe in illusion. I knew from the onset that the election was going to be fake because we have learned from history. Is it Abe Zonga told us, Burundi won an election, they stole it. Gamto, they said he won an election, they stole it. Fundi was in house arrest. Gamto was arrested. Who asked that Gamto should be released? President Macron of France. He called Pobia that I'm going to call Pobia to release Macron, and he was, not Macron, to release Gamto, and he was released. I knew Chiruma was going to be arrested. I knew that after the election, that he is now where he is. All I need, sometimes they say a best dancer knows when to put the ball. We are going to keep on fighting for change in the Cameroons. But Mr. Chiruma, at this come, they should be honest to our people. Their hands are tied, as you say. They are going nowhere. Chiruma is there, he cannot say anything. And to me, I will tell you, Chiruma is temporary in Gambia. Chiruma will end up in the Western country. I will tell you that that's my view. Chiruma cannot stay there. Nigeria said no. Because one, Chiruma is an individual. Nigeria have got its interest with Cameroon. Chiruma is an individual. Gambia have got its interest with the Cameroons. America, Britain, all of them, they have their interest. The greatest law on earth is national interest. These people, they don't care about human rights. They can fool us. People cry international community. Look at what is happening in Gaza. Almost 70,000 people have been killed. We should learn to know if we want change. Only us can bring the change in our country.
Let me go to Kennedy here, Reverend Kennedy, who is joining from Maryland. If I may ask you, when the statement from the Gambia says they are negotiating, and they quote Nigeria and regional powers, they are negotiating, what in your mind do you think this negotiation is about? I think you are muted at your end. You are muted at your end.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was yes. So thank you, Secretary Chris, for hosting me on your program. And you asked a very important question, and I think it's quintessential to understanding what's going on. When they come and they say that they are negotiating. Now, the first thing that you should know in international diplomacy, the acknowledgement of diplomacy, the acknowledgement of negotiation only takes place when a deal is almost struck, if it is not yet struck. So you put it right. He's been there since the 7th in the Gambians. And the Gambians have been mute on it. And now they come up. They put out this announcement. The first thing that you realize is, contrary to what people are hoping, wishing, and dreaming, that let Cameroon be like what happened with Adama Barrow in the Gambia, but it's not going to happen. Not even from the Gambian perspective, because you see the way they describe Chiroma. He is being described as someone who contested. So you see in their mindset, the contestation of Mr. Biya is something in the past, because there's someone who contested in the recently conducted elections, and it's not someone who is contesting the results of that election. That nuance is very important for us to understand. And again, in diplomacy, if a nation comes and say that they are negotiating, it's a big risk that they are taking to say that they are negotiating when they are not sure that they're going to have a result. So, if there was a real deadlock, they would have shifted Issa Chiroma to somewhere else and be silent. Because if nothing comes out of this negotiation in international circles and in geopolitics, because the Gambians, if you see the role they're trying to play in West Africa, they want to situate themselves as mediators. And when you are striving to situate yourself as mediator, you build your resume. And you cannot build a resume like someone who announced that they were negotiating something, and they come back to you and say, okay, you tried to negotiate Chiroma with the Cameroon affair. What happened? So if there was nothing that was going on in a direction that would suit this announcement, they would have not said it. So now, what is my wildest suspicion? What do I suspect in this? I probably suspect that Chiroma and the government of Cameroon somehow have come to a consensus of accommodation. How they're going to accommodate him. I greatly suspect that. And there is something that we should also understand, and I think in my the last time I was on your show, I made it clear to you, because when you study the geopolitics in Central Africa, you see the ramification of the relationship between Cameroon and Nigeria. I made it clear to you that from past history, Chiroma will never be hosted in Nigeria. And it happened just as I said in that program. But now, what I suspect is that the exfiltration of Chiroma from Garwa was well organized between the government of Cameroon and Nigeria, but with the assurance that they will not host him in Nigeria. They will send him far away from Nigeria, because Nigeria would have had no problem to host Chiroma. But the pressure on Nigeria would have been too great, because the Cameroonians and the friends of the resistance in Cameroon would have been having this narrative that Nigeria is preparing Chiroma, and that's what was being said, by the way, that there's going to be an assault from Nigeria. So because Nigeria don't want to find itself in the theatrics of building a resistance against the Biya regime, the Yola Mafia, that's the Yola Mafia, the Adamawa people of Nigeria that have connection with the Adamawa people of Cameroon, they certainly arrange with Gambia and say, okay, you guys have him there, and we will see what we can do. So it's clear, it's clean and done, and as you put it in your the change that should come in Cameroon, it's going to be the responsibility of Cameroonians. And I am very sure that Chiroma was not even ready for this, because if he was ready for this, if they were serious, and I will join Barrister Lisinge, that these people should tell Cameroonians the truth. If they had any plan, Secretary Christ, on the 7th, when was that result declared? On the 12th of October, I should think, when the results were declared, we saw the massive uprising in Cameroon, from Douala to Bafoussam to Garua, even the East Province of all. Can you imagine that there was uprising even in the East? So, these people, they are playing with the Cameroonian people. They are not serious. They have no plan. We cannot dream ourselves out of this totalitarian regime. No, we cannot dream. We cannot hope ourselves, just hoping ourselves out of this totalitarian regime.
Let me ask you a question here. You say that the Gambia, when they talk about negotiating with trying to broker dialogue with Issa Chiroma, they are negotiating. How can you think that Issa Chiroma is negotiating when only yesterday his party, through Alice Income, said they are not going in for the municipal elections, which are supposed to be happening, I think, in March? If they were negotiating something, don't you think that he would agree to go in for the elections? In fact, that would be one of the things that a lot of people would use to corner him, to say, come, we will give you so many councils, we will give you so many parliamentarians, and you know how they work there. So why do you think that Issa is succumbing to some form of negotiation?
Okay, one of the things that we have to understand about the way the Cameroonian government or the regime wants to negotiate, they want to negotiate on their terms. That's the way their negotiation is. Their negotiation has never been on, okay, I will cede to you some grounds. I mean, that's the mindset. I was at the Major National Dialogue where they called us, paid people, paid the flight ticket, paid hotel bills, used wasted Cameroonian money. I call it wasted because the results are there. So when we went at this negotiation, this is what the people were saying. It is A or A. The option is you choose A or you choose A. That they did it even in the election, the referendum. You have to vote yes or yes. So now, that's their mindset. And that's the code that needs to be cracked in order to make any progress. So when Chiroma says that, first of all, and that's why it's dubious. The elections are in March, and Chiroma, they're saying that they're not going to, they will not participate in that election. The first thing, they don't have the machinery to participate in any local election, because a local election will be revealing of Chiroma's lack of local implantation. If I were Chiroma, I would not even go in for that election, because I would know the truth that this election can come and contradict whatever momentum I had created, because the reality will be there. Chiroma knows that those who are vying and supporting him are not FSNC militants. It is MRC militants. So Chiroma knows that when they will launch that election with Kamto that is coming back to take over his party, should the MRC go, Chiroma will win no council out of Garua. That's clear. The Douala where Chiroma trounced Paul Biya, the Yaoundé where Chiroma trounced Paul Biya, all the divisions in the West Province where Chiroma trounced Paul Biya, all those areas, the Chiroma will not even have 5% in a local election. So when we know the reality of the field, that's a very great statement, political statement that Aliscom has made. But the bottom line is, just to give you again this example, Chiroma knows this very well. In 1992, Chiroma himself, talking about the way Paul Biya negotiates, in 1992, after the presidential elections, Paul Biya decided that they were going to form a government of national unity and went into negotiation with UNDP. That's Bello Buba. Bello Buba was the negotiator on behalf of UNDP. Bello Buba was stating that he needs 6 members of government in order for them to strike the deal to enter that government of national unity in 1992. So while the CPDM was negotiating with the UNDP, with Bello and Bello Buba as representing, what happened? This very Chiroma is the person that the CPDM used to circumvent the negotiation that was being on track with Bello Buba. So you see that there is that mindset of the CPDM. When they negotiate, they go on the table, it is yes or yes. It is not yes or no.
And I think you are very correct in your assessment there, because if you look at when the SDF lost in 1992, yes, I think it was 1992, Kamto lost in 2018. In the case of the SDF, they said, let's go for local elections. I think actually local elections took place before the presidential election. I think they had the legislative before the presidential, and then they did the presidential, and then after there was the local elections. And they promised the SDF so many seats, and I think the SDF actually had quite a number of seats. They had over 70 seats in parliament, am I correct?
No, that was 40, I think 43.
They had quite a number of seats in parliament at the first multi-party election. That was 1992, I believe. And then progressively, every other election they took away everything from
Exactly.
the SDF.
Exactly.
It came to the MRC of Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto now has no councillors. I don't even know what he has parliamentarians. So I think that's a very smart reasoning. If Issa Chiroma dares go in for any election in March, that is just 3 months from today, Bia will sweep everything to tell the international community, look at this guy you say won the presidential election, could not even win 10 councils anywhere in Cameroon, and you want us to give the country to him. Who does he represent? I think that is a calculation Cameroon is looking into. Let me go to Shea Tata to weigh in on this. What do you think of this letter from the Gambia? But let's look at another angle. Are Cameroonians ready to fight? Are they ready to go in for another election just in 3 months when they know this one is not resolved and they cannot win again in 3 months? Is there any need? Can they fight? That is the question in the heart of everybody. Share that you try. You are closer to them than us.
Thank you again, Comrade Chris, and greetings to all my other colleagues in the panel. Before I attempt an answer, I want us to have a flashback to the 6th of November. You remember the day of the inauguration, we were on this studio where I questioned the loyal military that we also all over, and we are asking ourselves where they are. And I also question how the Cameroon borders will be that porous for people to say that he has flown into the country without any interference or no trace of anything. Now, talking about the elections, I just want to, first of all, to agree with what was, I forgot the other name, the last speaker.
Okay, Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy. If you look at what is already happening, I think on the 28th, few days from now, when we are having the regional elections, you will see that CPDM already is going to be sweeping those House of Chiefs or whatever, how they call them. And I can tell you that at the moment, the only thing that is going to even happen is that looking at the present situation where there is this belief that Cameroon Biya can never be defeated through the ballot, a lot of people again, especially even of the opposition, may not even register for that elections or may not even go to vote, and as such, CPDM again will rig or take the votes in those areas where they think that the opposition cannot go. So this is, to me, what I see in that if we have to go for the municipal and legislative, which is what we call the parliamentary elections, I foresee another scenario where Mr. Kennedy said that Chiroma can be humiliated in this stage. Talking about a bit, you started with the issue of the letter. Refugees, we do experience this kind of things in Nigeria, where before you are even granted a refugee status, these are some of the commitments you make. You have to undertake them, that you are not even going to go against any member state of the AU and a sovereign state. And they do have their meetings and agreement among themselves. I'm not a lawyer, where it's very difficult for a country to come against another. And that's one of the reasons why Ambazonia has been in this difficulty of having even just one country that could recognize us at the moment, because of these diplomatic ties that they have among each other that they agree. Now, the challenge too that Chiroma would have had, because when you see that the regional, what was the word that he says, the regional committee or whatever is going to work with the government of Nigeria, I find it difficult again now agreeing with Mr. Mote that something definitely is going to happen in this December that we are looking forward to see that thing. The reason being that if Nigeria is going to get involved in this, then probably we are going to wait for long. because the current challenges and crises that are in Nigeria, Nigeria is definitely not going to abandon them to come to solve the crisis in Cameroon. I'm saying this because even President Tinubu was supposed to have been in South Africa for the G20 meeting due to the recent kidnappings in schools in Kwara State, in Kebbi State, in Niger State. He was obliged to cancel those trips. He even cancelled the EU summit that is taking place, I think, in Angola. This is to tell you that Nigeria is in a serious crisis where they need to resolve them, as Trump is also threatening to come to Nigeria to solve the problems himself if Nigeria does not sit up, knowing fully well about the Christian genocide debate that is going on. And as if that is not enough, we just saw recently Nnamdi Kanu being sentenced to life imprisonment, which is also bringing another uprising in the East. Then I will tell you that Nigeria is having their cup full, and for them to be able to intervene and start negotiations with the Cameroon issue, we are going to wait for long. And as we know, time, as we keep saying, time heals all wounds. The momentum is dying, and that is what La Republic is doing, trying to buy time. And that is why you ask a question. Since the 7th, and we are getting the confirmation of his stay, probably 2 weeks after, what should have been happening? I yield.
Thank you. The question remains, though. Chiroma cannot fight. His hands apparently are tied, and you are very correct. As a refugee, a political refugee in any country, you are told you cannot use this country where you have admission to launch anything, to say anything that compromises relations between the two countries. I was told that when I sought refuge in Nigeria, early 90s, and I couldn't write anything against Cameroon. Even when I was working in the media, I couldn't write anything just to protect my status. So the question, we go back to the question, are Cameroonians ready to fight? Can they fight? Because if they are waiting for Issa Chiroma to leave exile, come and fight, that is not going to happen. Shay, let me come back to you before I get back to...
The answer is simple. You saw what happened on Friday when he declared the ghost town.
Yeah.
Many places were open.
Yeah.
So if people cannot even sit at home to show solidarity for a day, do you think they are willing? When I talk to Francophones, the first thing they tell us that they are afraid to die. And if you are afraid to die, you cannot fight. They even keep quoting the 2008 incident, that when they stood to the street, they were even shocked to see that Ambazonia, when we started, they were laughing and saying, it's not going to work. We tried in 2008, we tried in this year, it didn't work. But they are still shocked to see that we stood our ground, and that is to show that we are different from them. Now, talking about if they can fight, I have even seen a message coming in again. I don't know if it is rumor that there is going to be another lockdown. And you have said it many times, repeatedly, lockdowns will not win the fight. So to tell you that Cameroonians are ready to fight, I will tell you no. It suffices enough to just buy them a bottle of 3-3 Expo, and they will tell you beer is great, like in the days of Mussolini in 1922. The people are not even ready as well. Even if they could fight, they are not ready. The only person people have been relying on is the one you brought to the show. Is it Ben Modo? What is the name?
Yeah, Ben Modo.
Whom people are waiting to hear that people are expecting to see you bring him to the show to say where they are. Now they tell they have recruited 10,000 soldiers. Where are they? Sometimes if things were available as people expect, we should have been even seeing videos of people coming out showing their strength, saying they are ready for this. Nothing is happening at the moment. And like I said, the final nil was shown that they are not ready to fight. On Friday, that hunger alone could not permit them to go out and show solidarity and listen to their president. In Douala, I know so many shops that were open in and quarters and markets. In Yaoundé, the same. Even part of it in Bafoussam, in the West region.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they are ready to fight. Even if they can, they are not ready. First of all, they do not have the resources, and that is why I don't know who said if Chiroma was ready. I think if Chiroma knew what he was going for, the North would have been an opportunity. But if the North stands up to fight and nothing happens in Yaoundé, Bia will tell you if Yaoundé breeds, then Cameroon is breeding.
Let Metro Lisinga weigh in here. Are they ready to fight? Can they fight, Metro?
Yeah, thank you. I listened to Shay very keenly. But to me, the way I look at life, we cannot say people that are not under our control, they are ready to fight. To me, what I've been doing ever since I was a teenager, if I'm not happy with something, I want to go and fight in protest in the embassy in Cameroon. I go there alone. So to me, we should stop this issue today. That the whole Cameroon they will fight. Some people is their conviction. Some people is their way of life. There is nowhere on earth, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in American civil rights, everybody cannot fight. It has to be in your blood. Sometimes I ask myself, I was brought up in a comfortable family. I was doing, why is it that I was going to fight Southern Cameroon problem? Went to see Pamuna in Gembo, went to see this person. It's because I was brought up, that is my way of life, to fight for the people. So if you want to change a country, you don't need everybody. You need to fight by yourself. Lead. When we started, when Goya University students, trade union leaders, they were attacked and beaten in Cameroon. What happened? Few of us, less than 10 of us, we started protesting. Commonwealth, people started coming. So if you want change, be the leader. That's how I look at it. If you sit and say somebody will come. I went to Cameroon in 2022. I was there alone on the street, videoing it. Yaoundé dirty, I was showing it. That's protest. That's activism. I went to Douala, I was showing it. That's protest. But if you ask people to come, they will not come. I talk with a lot of people from the Cameroon. I say, what have you done? You say you want change, you want change. If I say, Alex, Neche Mola Alex Belisike is doing this, can everyone contribute £1? You will not contribute. That's the truth. So at the end of the day, I want to see, like you, Cristiano, you're there playing your part. Pastor Ejeje is playing his part. I'm sure Shay there is playing his part. If you believe in something, go ahead and do it. Don't wait for the people. If you wait for the people, you wait forever. Because not everybody is in that position. When I go out to fight, or to fight for Boya University, fight for multi-party parliament in Yaoundé University, I was not saying they should kill me. Because sometimes we say, oh, people are afraid to die. Every time I go out to protest, I'm not going that they should kill me. If they kill me, they kill me. But the point is, we are making a mistake. When you talk to somebody to go and protest, they say, oh, I don't want to be killed. Why should they kill you? I was in the streets of Cameroon showing dirty street protesting. That's protest. Did they kill me? No. It depends how you do it. Don't go there and say, I know sometimes people say, you sit in Cameroon, If you go and protest that poor Bia must go, they will shoot you. There are other ways to change the Cameroon. There are other ways we can do it. I know. I talk with people every day. Sometimes they look at what I'm saying. I said, look at Cameroon. Do you understand that country? Most of us, we say Bia is the problem. If Bia is not there, they will replace Bia. Our country is still under colonial rule. That's our problem. So sometimes I don't blame people. If I want to do something, I go out and do it if I'm the only person. And when people see what you're doing, other people will join you. So that's how I look at life. So we should stop. I'm not saying, sometimes I'm frustrated that people are quiet. But if you want to change a country, go and lead. Do your things. People will join you at some stage because not everybody is like maybe you. So it's very important that we do this. And at the end of the day, in Cameroon, I don't believe in names. John Fruji, Kamto, Chiruma. It's the people who are going to change the Cameroon. It's not about names. When we believe, example, people recently, there was a Chiruma X Factor. Everybody was there for Chiruma. Now they have clawed Chiruma's hands, and everybody is quiet. Everybody is afraid. But if it was the people who are fighting, they don't know who is who. I don't believe in things that this man is the leader. That we, to change a country, French Revolution, American War of Independence, is the people. There will be leaders among the people. But you see now, people are skeptical now because why? Everybody plays their hope on Chiroma. At some point in time, everybody plays their hope on Chiroma. At some time, people place their hope in Kamto. So the problem is the change that will come in Cameroon. It's not about somebody will be a leader. It's the people's revolution that's going to change Cameroon. That's what is important. And I want us to know that sometimes I look at Cameroon. I was born in that country. I grew up in that country. I understand how they operate. I know France control them. Here is not the president of Cameroon. Macron is a de facto president. And you see, like what you talk about, is it Adama Barrow what? It's because Yaya Jammeh, the West did not want him. So at the moment, they're happy with the other West. Chris, if you want to know, go and Google. The people who run a country are what? Western business people. If you look at them, Americans, Europeans, they are the one running Cameroon. I saw people celebrating that the Cameroons have bought a new on the electricity company. The truth is, go behind and see electricity company is not about a new. The companies that supply the national grid, everything behind the scene, are all Western countries. Insofar as Western countries, they are having their businesses in Africa, they would like Mr. Biya to be there to thy kingdom come. That is the truth. And some of us, we have a strategy. I will be writing to these companies. I will be confronting them about social corporate responsibility, which is a law. I say you cannot see Savannah Energies in London. They are the one controlling Costco, the oil in Cameroon and Chad. I want to be facing them. What is your corporate social responsibility? I have my own way of fighting these people because the law tells them this is what is happening in Cameroon. What are you doing? You are receiving blood money. It will affect them more. I have issues that I have to look at this thing and go and challenge And if they don't do that, we'll go in front of their offices and say they are receiving blood money from the Cameroons. That's how you fight these people. And they will talk to Mr. Bia. That's the way you fight these people, to be honest. It's not about, you have to know where you touch them. If you touch them, you say they are receiving blood money from Cameroons, they will react because their image will be tarnished. There are a couple of companies. That is how we should be fighting these people sometimes. I know people fight in different ways. I can't stop it. But my own way, I'm pinpointing all these big companies that are operating in Cameroon. When you do that here, there are a lot of people, civilians in UK, in other countries, they will join and support you. So I have a plan. And the plan is to say, these people, your Savannah Energy is in UK, there are other companies have pinpoint most of those companies. And my fight is telling you that you are receiving blood money in the Cameroon. So those things are a
Do you really think those it matters? Those countries, oil blocks have been doing business in Africa for a long time, and they don't even care about human rights. They don't care about environmental rights. Look at Ogoni in Nigeria, for example, in the 90s. How many people they killed and the level of environmental degradation that they left there. And the government then in Nigeria ended up hanging agitators like Ken Saro-Wiwa, who stood up to fight the oil conglomerates.
Chris, how did it? Because Ken Saro-Wiwa was speaking. I followed Ken Saro-Wiwa. I followed all the things. He became so very popular that he had political enemies. I know about Ken Saro-Wiwa. But the point is, at the end of the day, they realized what happened. They paid money to Ken Saro-Wiwa's family. They were sorry that he lost his life. They compensated them. But the point is, in the Western world, when you go to the street and point these companies stand in their office, whether it's one person, it affects them. And the people in this country, in the Western country, they don't like to see those type of things. They are not informed. If you say, look at this company, the blood is in their hand, it affects them in the West. I'm the one telling you. I know about Ken Saro-Wiwa. Unfortunately, it became so very popular and they were afraid of it. At the end of the day, they gave him money. They paid the family money because they were wrong. What happened? But we should not allow our case to be the Ken Saro-Wiwa. I have been working, pinpointing all the companies working in the Cameroon. Luckily, a Nyon I have left. I was hoping to prepare a case against Nyon, the electricity in Cameroon, the company, because you can sue them in UK. That we have problem in life. That's what I was planning. But when I heard that, oh, they have sold the thing, you can sue them because why? There's something they call non-convenient in law. They have an office in the UK, so you can sue them here, even if they are operating in Cameroon. Luckily enough for them, they have left because you have to be pinching these people. They have power to talk to Bia. They have power to talk to France. Because here, when you put the law in the Western world, it is difficult for them to challenge it because the law is the law in the Western world. It's difficult to sue them in Cameroon. But in the Western world, it's easier to sue them. So at the end of the day, you have to look at this company. I get them. I check them. They are in America. They are here, all this transnational corporation. My point is that I will write a letter to them, tell them about corporate social responsibility. This is what is happening in the Cameroon. And this, they'll give me a reply.
You think they don't, Metro, you think you don't know. You live there in London, and at the beginning of this Amazonian conflict, you recall, was it Texaco signed a 90 billion 50 years, or was it 100 years contract with Cameroon? You think they didn't know that?
They know, but because we don't complain, we don't challenge them. They know what is going there.
But you are in London. You are there in the right place to challenge Texaco and all those.
What I am saying, if we keep quiet, we don't say anything. They know most of these corporate, transnational corporation, they love Cameroon. They love Africa because that's where they do their business and get things for free. But if we don't challenge them, nothing will happen.
I hear you, but my point is you live there in London, you are a barrister, a lawyer. Why not take up the case?
My point is, I have a life. These are my extracurricular activity. So when I sit there, I want to do certain things. It is extra thing that I have to do in my time. And you don't just go and put a flimsy case. You have to do your research. You have to know, and you put the thing on point of law before going there, because sometimes they will say your case is vexatious or whatsoever. You need a lot of time and research to do those things. But at the end of the day, most of these companies, if they know that you're doing these things or whatsoever, they know what they are doing in Africa. But people don't complain. At the end of the day, most of us will also international community. They don't know our problem stems from international community. So that's the problem with us. To me, I when I hear people say, "Oh, international community should come," what does international community do done in Gaza?
Where does this international community live? I know I use the word too, but I have been asking where they live when the world is burning and the international community, they do nothing. Let's get to Reverend Kennedy to weigh in on this. Did you see, you are a life serving member of the CPDM, a pure Cameroonian. You don't like the appellation Ambazonia. You like to be called Cameroonian. Are you guys ready to fight?
No, I want you to correct this. Did you say I'm a long life member of CPDM?
Come on, you were invited to the Grand National Dialogue as a CPDM militant in the diaspora, not as an Ambazonian. Am I wrong?
I mean, Metro Singer, please, can you correct that for him, because I know we were all at the Major National Dialogue.
They invited everybody. They invited Ambazonia activists, Mark Barretta. They invited Ayabacho. Ayabacho accepted it. I saw his invitation. Then before they put your invitation there,
even Kopo, we saw Kopo's invitation.
But that is not to say but that is not to say you were there as an Ambazonian.
Okay, no, I've never been in CPDM, and
that's the point I'm trying to make. They invited Ambazonians, that we know, but for you were invited as a CPDM militant in the diaspora.
I don't know if you do this on purpose, because this is not the first time that I am bringing this to your attention. You keep making, I don't know if it's a lapsus or you do it on purpose. I have never, ever militated in the CPDM. I am an SDF militant.
Oh, okay. My apology.
Yes,
My apology.
This is not the first time you confuse me with the CPDM.
My apology there.
And it's really, it vexes me to the core, like for real.
Okay. No, I get you. My apologies.
It's okay. Apology well received.
So, whatever the case, the SDF still believe itself. They believe they are Cameroonians. Do you guys have the nerves to fight?
Okay. Now, I believe I'm a Cameroonian. For that one, you're right. Absolutely right. I'm still a Cameroonian. I don't negate that fact of it.
It took you so long to just admit that.
No, there's a difference between saying that I'm a CPDM and that I'm a Cameroonian. I mean, I've never ever negated that fact that I am a Cameroonian with origins from the northwest province of Cameroon. So that's a fact. But now, when they say that, and going back to the core of your question, can Cameroonians fight? Yes, Cameroonians can fight. Cameroonians fought against the totalitarian regime in 1990 and acquired multipartism. We were all there, because I know you were of the SDF as well, Secretary Chris, back then. You were of the SDF. And maybe my brother Shay surely was of the SDF. That's what we fought, and we acquired multipartism in 1990. We fought, and we changed the constitution of Cameroon and put a time limit in 1996. We fought, we improved the electoral system, But with all
I mean,
its
we've
shenanigans,
gone.
no, it's good.
Hold
No,
on,
it's
hold
good.
on, hold on. We've gone beyond that kind of action. That's not what I'm talking about today. Look at 1990 to today. All those things were rolled back when Biya made himself what? President for life. The kind of fighting I am referring to here today is action. Action, because no pen is going to take Biya off the office.
This is why I say, and now, you will be surprised, but in what is happening to the struggle in Cameroon today, you all share some responsibility. Some responsibility because you gave a platform to someone like Issa Chiroma that we had some of us had warned you all that Chiroma would do nothing. Chiroma is an element of that regime. And we know how the regime functions. The regime creates its apparent oppositions. If you see what happened on the day of the declaration of the result, didn't you see a people that can fight? But now, leadership is very important in any social movement. Leadership, whether it's a business that you want to create, just like in Ambazonia, it's a problem of leadership. Because if we had a certain type of leadership, probably Ambazonia would have been on its own now. So at the end of the day, no matter what they say that everybody has to do his own part, the leadership plays a crucial role. I take, for example, your leadership, Secretary Chris, that, I mean, I would admire, because you are one of those few Ambazonia that preach something and practice. It's not because I'm on your platform that I have to say this. And it's an example that I want to tell you for you to understand what I talk about, the importance of leadership. You became the president of one of the factions of Ambazonia movement. And you made your mandate. If you still wanted to be the president, Secretary Chris, you would still be the president and be fighting. Somebody might think that you are not there because you think that thing is not important. But at the same time, those who were fighting to die on that thing, it is the same thing that you've left. Let's take the leadership of Chiroma. That is Chiroma. Chiroma wants to be like you and me now in the diaspora. Instead of being there internally, because that is what he promised. Didn't Chiroma promise that his name, he said it in French, maybe you guys don't pick it up. He said, those people don't know me. My name is Chiroma. And Chiroma means you don't quit. So I am not going to quit. But now that is Chiroma that is meeting me now in the diaspora. And then Chiroma and I will be oversaturating the diaspora. Whereas what we need is a leader that can mobilize internally, that can galvanize those people that stood up and the whole world saw the bravery of Cameroonians on the street against the dictatorial regime of Yaoundé. Just tell me for 1 minute, when we want to second guess that can these people not fight, we all saw what happened in Chang. The resistance that was put in Chang when the elections were being rigged. If we had good leadership would have galvanized Bafoussam, Buddha. Imagine that Bafoussam, Buddha, Bangante, all those divisions acted in synergy. I put it very clearly. Just imagine that all of those people acted in synergy. And then now, who can make that happen? It's leadership. It's leadership that can say, okay, because Buddha is up on flames, let's get the people in Bafoussam. Let's get the people. And at the same time, we get the people in Douala. We need a strategy. The problem is not that people cannot fight. The problem is that we need a strategy. We need people that can go on the table, draw a plan, not just call, for instance. When I talk about Chiroma, people seem not to understand me. How can you call Ghost Town Monday to Wednesday and then you skip the day that BI is swearing in, and you think that I will not try to question your integrity. If there was going to be a day that there must be a ghost town in Cameroon, it would have been on that day of BI swearing in, which was a Thursday, not the Monday to Wednesday. So what was the goal of calling a ghost town from Monday to Wednesday, and then you cut it right at the nick of time where BI was going to swear in? So, and those are the kind of things that when Cameroonians reflect on, they start saying that, okay, I don't trust these people. Why should I go and risk my life for them? Why should I go and die for these people? And that when I die, they will not move on with the struggle. And then for my family, it will be like my life was wasted. That's the question that this Cameroonian, go back and ask them. They'll tell you that those are the questions that they ask themselves every day. And then we see, okay, now, where's Rebecca in Onchong? Where is Project C right now? You come, you tell people that Chiroma is going to swear in. You come, you tell people that Chiroma is going to create a cabinet. You come, you tell people all of those things. And then one morning they wake up, Chiroma is somewhere where they have told him that he cannot even cough. Aren't we, at the level of leadership, missing the goal? So that's my biggest concern.
Well, I think somehow you are right somewhere there, and the moment will come when we will ask those on Issa Chiroma's camp who promise us, you guys don't worry, we've put everything in place, this election cannot be rigged. That is a promise they made, and right after the election they keep on promising, we are fighting. But a theme that I keep on hearing at this moment is we don't want people dying, we don't want blood. And I think really soon, very, very soon, we're going to be asking some of those questions to the actors involved. But before we open the phone lines to take some questions, there is this footage from La République du Cameroon, I think that is in the western Bafoussam, where Paul Atanganji gets to a gas station and stands there like a statue, a piece of a museum, and passes money to his friends, and the Okada guys come and they are filling their tanks, and the moment you finish filling your tank, they give you 5,000 or 10,000, and Paul Atanganji is standing there looking like the talk that he is. I'd like you to give me your opinion on that footage. Let's see. Let's get that footage, please. Let's get the footage. Look at it. Look at Paul Atanganji there. Look at Paul, a very holy man. You can see his face, and his head is all over the place like a thief who is worried he may be caught. Look at the way he turned his face. Look at that.
Lève la main. Sí, lève la main.
All right. Again, that is Paul Atanganji in Bafusam trying to essentially bribe Okada riders to stay away from ghost towns. That is his way, the government's way of appeasing the people. Now look at this other video. This one is so strange. Atanganji couldn't sit for a second without spinning his head to look beyond his shoulders just in case somebody was coming to hurt him. Look at that. look at Paul Atanganji there. The man is so afraid. Okay. All right. I'd like you guys to weigh in and give me your own opinion on that footage. Metro, let me start with you.
Thank you. Let me tell you the truth. In my days when I was a teenager in Cameroon, when we used to institute ghost town and going to the Liberty Square, Atanganji was the person who used to paint cars and put them in the street. So what Atanganji is doing today, to me, is nothing. I'm not surprised. To me, it's nothing strange to me. Atanganji is just being Atanganji. I know a lot of people, some people, they don't know him, they will be concerned and worry about. When I was a teenager, I did not even know. I used to hear Atanganji. The government have given him money to put taxes in the road when we used to do ghost town in Bamenda. So to me, what he's doing is just being Atanganji. There's nothing different. And unfortunately, the Cameroon have got to that stage that we put people like Atanganji in that position. I know ministers, I'm not saying they were not perfect. I knew Andre Chumbi personally, who was Minister of Territorial Administration. I knew Aisi Ondo, I was a child. I have a picture when I was a child. But today, the government of the Cameroon is looking for survivors. They will do anything to put somebody like a criminal. I will call him Atanganji is a criminal. Somebody who will sit on social media and say, I will molinate people. I saw another program. They asked him, he went a French program. He talked about molinate. They said, tu utiliser le mot molinate. They asked him on that program, are you using that word molinate? He said, no, molinate is law and order. So why can Minister Atanganji not use that word? That word they call law and order. So we want to enforce law. What? He said molinate. So I will grant you. When I look at Atanganji, what do I think about? I think about one person, Samuel Doe. Because the day the country will change, the people in the street, they have Atanganji. He will beg them like Samuel Doe. Hello?
All right. Reverend Kennedy, your opinion on Paul Atanganji, please. What you find?
Yes, Secretary Chris, please don't put that picture again because let me be a little bit focused. Because it's the way you see this guy, he's a crook that he is, that video with him popping his eyes, looking over his shoulder, it very well exemplifies the kind of person that he is. Unfortunately for us, a lot of havoc was created in our region that was attributed to Ambazonian, that this very guy Atanganji was responsible for. A whole lot of them. And I'll give you one seminal example. That one, mark this date, if you go, you watch what happened in Batibo on March 21st, 2020. That was the eve of the rerun of the parliamentary elections, because because of the fraud, the Constitutional Council annulled the initial election and there was a rerun. If you see what happened in Batibo on the 21st, where the military was all over Batibo, but some people in the name of Amazonia were able to, under the leadership of this guy that you see on the screen, they were able to organize a rally on the market square in Batibo on the 21st of March 2020. And what they were saying in that rally is that nobody should go out on the 22nd. That it means even if you had the urge to ease yourself, you ease yourself in your bedroom, don't go out. And do you know who profited from that strategy? It is the CPDM. Because by blocking people not to go out, the military went and voted on behalf of the people of Southern Cameroon. If people are doubting, this video that you showed in Bafoussam, where you see Atanganji standing and giving money, as Barrister Lisinge says, it's just being Atanganji. And by extension, it's just being Paul Biya. The election that has been rigged, it's no surprise to no one, because it is in the DNA of these people. These people are crooks, they are thieves. The only way we can get these people out is by firepower, and my firepower is non-violent, active resistance on the streets in Cameroon. What strategy can we do to maintain Cameroonians? Cameroonians can come out. We have seen that. But the issue is, how do we maintain them in the street? How do we keep the momentum once it erupts? Because the only thing that will bring this regime is not just an episodic moment of going out, but it is momentous moment that is prolonged.
All right. Shay, please, 1 minute, and then we'll open the phone lines.
Thank you once more, Comrade Chris. Each time you ask me anything about La Republique or civilians in La Republique, I get very irritated, and I don't know why you keep asking me this. Because if you have people, you talk about fighting, you give them strategies, and no one is taking any into consideration. Look at people who want change, and at the same time, on the day of it goes down for a leader whom they have said is a candidate for change, asking you to stay at home, but you prefer to go for 5,000. How do you expect change to come? People who cannot make sacrifices cannot have change. I'm talking about the footage of Atanganji. I want you to know that there is, for me, I just see only one thing: fear. I don't see anything else. Once you are a criminal, you have committed all sorts of atrocity, you are guilty of the fact that you can be picked up at any time. Even he himself does not even trust the regime he's fighting for, because from the way he's looking, he's sitting there with his Etat Major, with all the security around, and he's still scared, looking at, I hope I'm not being picked, I hope I'm not being controlled for saying this and that. And it's the same thing when you see him in the street. It's like if a gun hollers, Atanganji is gone. That's why he makes sure that wherever he is, nobody is taking him by surprise. And the last thing that I want to talk is about, you see, a divided, we talk about segmentations. And the last thing, the politicians in La Republique themselves are a problem. because this is the time to rally together. But the only thing you see, why when I see Reverend talking about the approach of Chiroma, everyone makes mistakes, but why should we capitalize on them than look at than taking the strengths of what they have? Where do you see his party leader sending a petition and at the same time withdrawing? What does that tell us? That there is something also wrong. We cannot be blaming just one party and forgetting the next, because there are things that you see that people have also taken sides. If we want change, let us get change. And I thought that this election for La Republic was not about Osi, it wasn't about Cabal, it wasn't about Chiroma. I thought it was about kicking Paul Biya out. And whoever kicked Paul Biya out was what mattered to us. And that's why we got involved. We got involved because we also want Paul Biya out, so that maybe we can get someone that can negotiate with us. And today we are trying to play blame game. Then I am saying that we have a long way to go. Thank you so much. You are muted.
You're muted. Secretary Chris, I don't know if you can hear us. You are muted. You are muted.
Barrister, maybe you run the show.
All right. My apologies. I was muted. So we will turn on to the phone lines now. Let's hear from our audience and know what they are thinking. However, before you call, remember to turn down the volume of your set and focus on the phone. Focus on your phone when you call. Please, let's get the number on the screen. Let's get the number on the screen. Again, remember to turn down your phone before you call. Okay, let's get to the first caller here. Hello. Oh, we lost that caller. Hello. Hello.
Chris.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Belgium.
From Belgium. What is on your mind, sir? 30 seconds.
Yeah, I want to say, so now I would like you to call Ben Modo, because when he was talking of the military on ground, so people like to see him talking so that to give them hope, because since Chiroma is in Gambia and based on Gambia reports, Chiroma cannot make some type of statement. So when the people are not getting information of hope, so the people will be weakened.
All right.
My contribution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's get to the next caller. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to make a couple of comments.
Okay.
Hearing your monologue, I totally agree, and I really like Shei's position because it stands in line. Now, for any meaningful change to happen in Cameroon, of course, we all agree that it has to be the effort of the Cameroonian people. We have seen some people come on the show here and say this thing will over by Christmas. We don't see any clear-cut plan in that line. They're saying that they have 10,000 people. The people have already done. It's now in their hands. Now, I think that's all rubbish, right? Because to what the BR regime is most afraid is resistance coming from the people, not from some imaginary 10,000 people out there that we don't know what it's about. And the Cameroonian people should be ready to fight and pay the price The problem here I'm seeing is that they don't want to pay the price. They keep talking about you cannot want to fight, and then you are scared that you get hurt in the process. We see. I just saw in the show right now they were taking 5,000 francs and taking gas. How is that a long-term solution? How is that? That is not somebody who is willing to fight.
Yeah,
that is not a fighting spirit.
All right.
So, I mean.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Comrade Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Nigeria.
Okay, and what is on your mind, sir? Are you Nigerian or Cameroonian or Ambazonian?
I am 100% Ambazonian.
Okay, what is your contribution, sir?
Yes, I keep on hearing people talking about non-violence actions. I don't think that should be the best way to handle the crisis in La Republic. It is very impossible. And another issue is about coming to the media to let the cat out of the bag. I think it's the wrong approach. The silence the Chiroma faction is giving out to the public, I think that's the best option. If you want to use a military or an armed conflict, you don't need to come to the public and begin to announce your strategy. I think it's a wrong approach. It is better to allow them do whatever thing they want to do.
And what if they do nothing?
I don't think they will do nothing. They are working quietly and then they are putting their strategies together. I don't think they should come to the media and begin to say, well,
no, that is not
this
what
is
anybody is asking. Nobody is asking them to come to the media and say, hey, we are reaching Yaoundé tomorrow. No, that's not what we are saying. Don't you think that if they surprise Cameroon right after the inauguration, or maybe 2 weeks, 1 week after, people will be so excited? Without announcing it. The same thing if they wake up tomorrow morning and before you know Yaoundé is hot, won't it stir excitement?
No, if Yaoundé is hot, when they at the end of the day, they will just cool down within a given period of time. It doesn't make any sense.
That's not the kind of what I mean.
They need to put their strategy together. Since they are going to use, like what I know, they want to use arms. They need to just put everything together before they come out with that. You only hear them acting. It's not an issue of coming to announce that this is what we want to do. This is the one we want to do. I think it is wrong for me.
All right. Again, nobody is asking them to do that. People are having expectations, and that's what they're waiting. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You are very far from your phone, sir. You are like 1 kilometer away from your phone.
Can you hear me?
That is better. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Mote. Chris, how are you?
Okay. Good to hear from you, sir. What is on your mind tonight?
Well, I wanted to give some clues. First of all, a rebuke for all these guys who want to send the crowds to crash against the bullets. Keep saying, send out the people in the streets, and then they will die and die and die, and things will change. First of all, question number one, how can you win a war when your enemy is awaiting exactly what you want to do? How can you win a war when your enemy is expecting you to do exactly what you want? It's totally silly. Even if that was the right thing to do, to let people flood the streets, the fact that the enemy is awaiting that strategy would be stopped right away. That's number one. Number two, you keep saying that Chiroma is not the Messiah. I think I said that last time. That Chiroma is not the Messiah. Everybody should not necessarily only think about Chiroma. I agree. That's what I'm saying. This is not the vote that was made only by Chiroma. Chiroma was not the only one to vote. You know,
no, but the question is this. The question is this. Chiroma is not the Messiah. Chiroma is just one person. Chiroma hands are tied. Are you Cameroonians ready to take up the struggle under the moral leadership of Chiroma?
Well, that's exactly the point. Maybe we should let down the name of Chiroma for a while.
No, you can't let his name down. He is a leader that all of you.
I will tell you why.
He is a leader all of you look up to. I'm not saying that you wait for. I'm not saying you wait for instructions from him. I'm saying that are you people ready to rise up like Ambazonia did to say, you know what, now or never? Do you have the courage, the belly to do that?
Listen up. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to answer. Okay, we want to rally and to get energized after Chiromas, but you should understand that there is something that is called strategy and tactics. There are many ways to gather around Chiroma. That's my second point. You don't need to wait for the Christ. Then the Bible says that those who are not against me are for me. So if you think that Chiroma is the leader that needs your help, why don't you yourselves, with like people like the priest Lato, the Jesus priest Lato, why don't you organize yourself and gather with other secondary leaders doing exactly what you want Chiroma to ask you to do? Do it yourself. You can gather in towns with other leaders, not necessarily Chiroma. That's what I was saying.
Listen, we don't
exactly what you want to do.
Listen.
Yes.
Nobody is asking somebody to get on the street. I think all that the people are asking is, what are we going to do now? Who is in charge? Who is the leader? What is the next plan? So those are the expectations out there. If you have them, they want to see it. They don't want to hear it anymore. Thank you for the call. Let me get to other callers. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Spain.
From Spain. What is on your mind, sir? 30 seconds.
Yes, my contribution is that the other thing I can say is that if we want to free Cameroon, the diaspora should gather together and do what we can do together to free our country, Cameroon. Even I am from Bamenda Bay. I think I have a connection from my parents, my grandparents from the West Province. So what we can do is just to gather the diaspora. I think if we can join together and make a plan for all of us to
the problem with gathering the diaspora from your perspective is that Ambazonians have been gathered for the past 9 years, and none of you Francophones in the diaspora join with Anglophones, as you call them, to help them. Why should they join you now?
But I'm not talking only the Anglophone. Even the Francophones should join themselves to do what the Anglophone did the past month, the past years.
Okay, thank you.
If they can join, gather themselves, and we can even say everybody should go to Cameroon. I don't think if all the Cameroonians who abroad will take their flight to Cameroon, the army will kill them. I don't think.
All right, thanks for the call, sir. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Jeff from Berlin, please.
From Berlin. All right. What is on your mind, sir?
Yes, I have two comments to make.
Okay.
The first one has to do with the first part of your presentation.
Okay.
Yes, you did mention we know what happened in Bamenda last week, the kidnapping of the priests by the so-called Bazarian separatist fighters, and the reaction from the Archbishop of Bamenda, Bishop Kia. And my comment is I see some element of hypocrisy in what Bishop Kia is trying to do in Bamenda. The fact is, we condemn if it's true that the priests were being kidnapped by the separatist fighter, if it's true. But now, the reaction from the Archbishop is a little bit contradicting and it's hypocritical, because we know, we have been talking that the church has a very big role to play as far as restoring peace and order in Cameroon, in Bamenda, for example, in southern Cameroon. They have been so mute for all these years. Meanwhile, they have a saying. I never knew that Bishop Kia is aware that the church can go on the street to demonstrate. I never knew that until he's saying that he'll close down the church and he'll go on the street. I never knew that. But he's fully aware that it's a powerful weapon that he can use to bring down the Cameroon government into dialogue table. But he has failed to do so for all these years.
All right, make the point, sir. We need to get on to other callers.
Yes. Second point has to do with what's happening with Chiroma in Gambia. I said it before and I will say it again. If French Cameroon is thinking of doing anything with Pobia in the next 48 hours, if they cannot appoint a spokesperson, a diaspora, they should forget about the thing. That will be all about it. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chris.
Hello, ma'am. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Sweden.
From Sweden. Okay. What is on your mind tonight?
Yeah, first of all, I want to appreciate you for your monologue. You said something very important, which many Cameroonians, they don't want to say. I think you and Shay, that if Cameroonians want change, they are the ones that are supposed to fight for the change.
Okay.
So the question I keep asking myself is, do Cameroonians really want change? Yes, they want change. Are Cameroonians ready to fight for the change? That's what we don't know.
That's a good question. That's a question that is hanging.
I see people blaming Shiruma and trying to give a dog a bad name. I think what we should do is we should applaud Shiruma, because Shiruma has tried. Shiruma has resisted. I see one of your panelists trying to give him a bad name, that he is from the regime and he did something in 1992 and all that. I don't think this is the time for such talk. What we want is change in Cameroon. We don't care if you are from the SDF, from which party or which party. All we want is change. I think we should stop with all the hypocrisy and giving a dog a bad name and trying to sugarcoat things. I think now all Cameroonians need to focus on change. Do we want change? Who is going to be the leader for change? And we walk behind that person. Not only Cameroon, all Cameroonians are responsible for the change. Anywhere you are, Mr. Chris, you're doing a great job for the change. Everybody has to partake in one way or the other and stop sitting and waiting for Shiruma. They said ghost town on Friday. I see people opening their shops. People are saying, "Je vais voir mes enfants grandir. Je vais manger."
You know, that is why we are asking whether Francophones have the belly to fight. If they cannot even shut down their businesses for a one day ghost towns, I wonder.
Because the truth is, Cameroonians really want to.
Hold on a second there, because
they don't want to fight.
Hold on a second there, because it appears like even if Chiroma was ready, you will have no followers.
Exactly. So who do they want Shiruma to fight? Do they want Shiruma to be a sacrificial lamb?
All right. Thank you for the call.
No,
Hello.
Secretary, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
I can barely hear you, sir.
I'm calling from Belgium, please.
From Belgium. Okay, what is on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to go straight to make a point. What you are seeing there in Bafusam, most of the people who came to take that petrol, they are soldiers.
I thought so. I actually said so on this.
Look again at picture. Look behind. You see so many armies around there. The people who came there to take this thing are soldiers, not civilians. Please.
Yeah, I thought so.
Then secondly, I think we'll have hope. This we are not demonstrating. People are demonstrating, but when we get to that climax of revolution, it's spiritual. Who will come? So we should not worry.
All right.
Time when you keep everybody to the street.
All right. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from?
Oh, calling from Sweden.
Okay. What is your contribution, sir?
Yeah, Chris, thank you so much. You are doing a great job. But I think you people are taking so much time discussing the Chiruma and La Republic issue rather than starting Cameroon. So I think we are getting tired with so much talking of the La Republic issue. So I think you both should straighten up and see how you can make things work, because some of us are getting tired of the La Republic issue. Because that is going to be the topic of the day each time.
Well, we've been talking about Bazunia for 9 years. 9 solid years. That is almost a decade on a daily basis. But thanks for the call. Hello.
Because some of us are getting tired of the Republic issue.
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Please shut down the volume of your set and stay on your phone.
Okay, thank you.
Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Baltimore.
Okay, what's your contribution, sir?
Yes, I want to thank you first for your efforts, what you're doing to change that country, even our Ambazonia. There's something very important. You cannot sit and ask for lockdown without getting some people to enforce the lockdown. Lockdown is succeeding in Ambazonia because we have forces that are there to enforce the lockdown. So if Chiruma sits somewhere and says there's lockdown on Friday and there's nobody on the ground to enforce the lockdown, it's never going to work. Okay, in Ambazonia, when we put lockdown, the voices are there to enforce the lockdown. Okay, now in America, if you put the law, there's the law enforcement officers. Because what comes out from the president's mouth is like the law of the country. So we need guys in all over La Republic, Douala, Garua, that are going to enforce any lockdown. If you want to open your store, they set you as an example. The others will learn. That's a simple strategy. That is how we are succeeding in Ambazonia. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get my panel to make the last sentences and take off. So, Reverend Kennedy, I think somebody cited you in the call, so I'd like you to please have just 50 seconds. Let's write this. Let's conclude this.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I know someone mentioned me, but I just want to say that we need to be very smart in the way we do things. This thing of Ben Modo, it's a very big scam and sham. People should be careful because these are the people that reign in havoc. He has a GoFundMe that somebody that says that he already has 10,000 personnel for his legitimate defense of Cameroon. He is launching a GoFundMe where the target is 26,000, and he has raised 2,735 from 23 donors. Now, this guy, maybe people don't know, but they have to go and do research on him. This is a guy who was a government contractor for the Olembe Stadium. And we know what happened with the Olembe Stadium. And in order for you to
No,
be
he was not a government contractor for that stadium. He was the contractor for the Garoua Stadium.
Oh, okay, yeah. So sorry. Thank you for that correction. Yes, so he was a contractor for the Garoua Stadium. So now this is my analysis of it, because these are guys that are very entrenched in the regime. When he launches this thing, people that could have been like legitimate warriors would think that these guys are serious. They give their names. When they give their names, the regime creates a database. People that are contributing for this is GoFundMe. This guy does not need $26,000. He's a very rich person. He doesn't need $26,000. But this gives him the possibility to collect people whose heart is out for the revolution, for the resistance. So once they have this database, they know how they can control these people. Either they'll start attacking them, going after them. So people should be careful. When somebody comes and gives you an idea, analyze it and see how credible it is. Because many of our people, well-intended, have followed this kind of people that have destroyed our resistance. So Chiroma is not silent. We have an announcement that came from the Gambian government that talks about him. So when people are talking about Chiroma today, it's not because people want to talk about Chiroma. He's not silent. He has made a statement, and we are talking about it. And your last caller was absolutely right about the need for a mechanism of enforcement for lockdown. You cannot call lockdown. You cannot call ghost town without having planned a strategy for enforcement. And I think that the caller, hit it right on the nail, that we need enforcement mechanism for whatever plans we unroll or we roll out.
Oh, all right. Shay, go on, please.
Yeah, also just quick one. I also just wanted to take from the last caller. What we lack in most of the things we do is the implementation. And the reason I'm using the last caller, just like Reverend, is because I have seen a communique, and I'm sure Barrister Alice Com has also confirmed, except that I saw that in a flash or in a hurry. There's another ghost town or lockdown from the 30th to the 2nd. And this is something I think people complained last time that it was just short notice and they had only one day, and that's why people didn't. Now I see they have given them a week, and for this to be successful, which I am wishing them good luck, I pray that they should they should sort out on how to enforce these 3 days lockdown that they have declared. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Maitre Lissinger, please.
Yeah, without really saying that I'm disagreeing with what the other panelists say, to me, I was in Bamenda when we used to do Ghost Town. And some people call it lockdown, I call it civil disobedience. That's the right word for it. When we do it, we don't need people. We believe in it. Once, as I said, there is ghost town or lockdown, all of us were happy. We just follow it. So the point is, maybe we are not in the situation today that we can convince people to understand that. Because when you say civil disobedience, we are against unjust laws. That's what it means. It means there's a law. We are not happy with it. So to me, To have people to enforce it is as if you're forcing people. When I was in Bamenda, we used to go to Liberty Square, we do all those things. It was voluntary. There was nobody to enforce it. It's because we believe in what we were doing. I'm sure Pastor Ejaje, I don't know where he was then, he knows what I'm talking about. When we use people enforcing it, it's as if we are forcing people to do it. Civil disobedience is about the will of the people. Today, the people, they don't want the government of La République du Cameroon. Most of them, they don't want it. Insofar as we plan it, we tell it to them, we don't need people to enforce it. The people will follow it. It's very important. I see people talking. Most of us, we say, oh, it should be that. It's about us. Some people say that, oh, people should not go and they die. When some people, I was part of them, they were fighting for multipartyism. We did not want the government of La République du Cameroon to kill us. Nobody goes to say, oh, we want GC, but we did not go to the street for them to kill us. When we say we want national conference, we're not going to the street to kill us. Today, Mr. Chiroma is out of his country. Why? He's not happy with certain things. If you're not happy with certain things, Minister Chiroma should not be out of his country. At the end of the day, if we had an independent court, the court will decide. We are still living in a zoological garden in Africa. We are still, it's normal, Chris, for me to debate and argue with you. I love you, Chris. Why? You bring me on your program. We might not agree on everything, but that is how a democracy functions. So we should learn in the Cameroon that we can come, we debate, we don't need to agree. If you look at all of us, we have families, we have friends. Do we agree with all of our friends? No! But democracy is about me sitting on this platform to say, hey, Comrade Chris, what you're saying, I don't agree on this. Pastor Ejade, what you're saying, maybe I don't agree on this. I agree with you on this. Share, maybe I do this. Until we learn to start operating like this, we are still living in a zodiacal garden.
Well, thank you very much. Unfortunately, many of us, we live in the West where democracy is talked of every day and we see it every day. And we still come here from Africa and we just still do things as though we're still home in Africa. No change, nothing. You find even educated people. Somebody talked about leadership in Amazonia. At a point in time, we have how many presidents? I don't know, for one organization. We almost picked up a fight in Ghana when we got there, and I insisted that you cannot have how many interim governments standing as president, this president, that president, this. And I said, hey, put one interim government, let all of us sign on there, and so that whoever reaches see one interim government. And it was a big fight for over 2 hours. 2 hours. People just want to keep titles where there is nothing in it. Well, that will be the end of it tonight. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I look forward to getting you back one of these days. Good evening, good night, sirs.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to call it a night at this moment, but before I go, I cannot go without appealing to you to have ABS support ABS take care of the satellite. Please, if you really do appreciate what we are doing here, this is how we fight for change. This is our own way of doing it, and I'm happy so many of you out there appreciate it. But if you really do appreciate it enough, especially if you live in the diaspora, my appeal to you is please, go get the number on your screen. get on Zelle or Cash App and support ABS with $50, with $100. That will be very, very much appreciated. And if you are in Europe, we have a PayPal account. You go to ABS website, which is absafricatv.com. absafricatv.com. You click on the donate button. It will take you to the PayPal payment page, and you can make a donation. Many of you call and promise to do so, but we are yet to see those donations coming in. Please match your words with your action. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to coming back tomorrow. Professor Carson Anyangwe will join me tomorrow, and others. Good night, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless. All right.
Oh.
43 years the river has flowed. Same bank, same stone, same winding road. But the youth are calling with voices loud, breaking through the grey morning cloud. The land is tired, the people are strong, waiting, praying it won't be long. One man stepped from the halls of power to stand with us in this urgent hour. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
In every village, every crowded street, hearts are pounding with history's beat. The hands that built this nation cry for schools that teach, for truth not lies, for bread on tables, for work and pride, for leaders who will walk beside, not above us, not beyond our reach, but one who practices what they preach. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
To the elder who has served so long, your chapter's written, your story strong. Find your ease now in honor and grace. Pass the torch to a younger face. Let Cameroon remember you, not for holding on, but letting through. The dawn that's breaking, the hope reborn. This is not defeat, it's a gentler moon. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, all the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, we believe we'll come home.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream,
Chiroma,
a beacon shining and where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, all the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
Then it's smart. Muna king fenge. Usari maribo. Wose se ku Joseph Worabwe. 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 That concept Grandago. Mukuba. Bate. Amechi. Peter Eno. Ancien driver. Wongweno. Murukwo. Akwatikaba. Eyong Atem. Wongweno. Akwatikaba. Arremoni. Wongweno. Wongweno. Akwatikaba. Etingenen Suwadi. Wongweno. Murukwo.
Sende,
munyobo tenani ngeme duka munyobo tenere ah seseku agwai wongwe no tenani ngeme